This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs start off the second half of their rodeo road trip with 3 3/4 of fine basketball, but a late collapse. They go down to the Sacramento Kings, led by Devin Vassell's over 30. Victor had a double-double. In the NFL, Matt Miller of the NFL Draft Analyst says there's only 16 first-round draft eligible guys.
How good do you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. We got something to talk about. Welcome to the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson as we gather together around the radio flame that is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Glad to have you on a Friday morning. You guys made it. How you doing, RJ?
I am in the process of becoming caffeinated, and I did something I've done in the past before. You can do this. I believe in you.
I'm gonna adjust.
I did something that I've done in the past where I sometimes, to get set to speak on the radio.
Did you do vocal lessons?
Well, I threw on some music. You know what I'm saying? Like I threw on some music to warm the old voice up, and you got to throw on a song that has a range of, vocalness. Would you like to guess the song that I used to warm up?
You used a Mariah Carey song.
No.
No. Okay. Jodeci song.
But I actually have a qualm with a Mariah Carey song. I don't think it's.
I have a lot of qualms with a lot of Mariah Carey stuff.
I used the song "Love Song" by Sarah Bareilles.
I am Edwin.
Never heard of it.
Well, you have the you have the apparatus so that we can hear this song.
Well, let me on the.
I want to hear RJ's vocal work.
I'm not going to do that, but on the Mariah
you
Carey
brought
note,
it up.
on the Mariah Carey note, this is a long-standing. I think it's a grievance of mine, but just an opinion of mine. You'll always be a part of me. I'm part of you indefinitely. Boy, don't you know you can't escape me. Ooh, darling, because you'll always be my baby. It's like seminal line, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, and we'll linger on.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows what comes next. Nobody has any idea what follows, and we'll linger on.
Well, that's why there's fan fiction.
I'm just nobody knows the next lyric in the song. Nobody knows that. Nobody.
The good news is no one really cares. Wow. So I mean, no one knows, but I don't think there's been a lot of sleepless nights wondering what Bareilles was lingering on about.
No, this is Mariah Carey. So I know all the words to Sarah Bareilles' song, "Love Song." That's the song that made her famous. The whole thing was they wanted her to write a love song, and she said, "I'm not going to do that. I'm not going." And so the chorus is, "I'm not going to write you a love song."
Really?
Yeah, she's a badass.
What's she doing now?
I think she's on Broadway now.
Sarah
Bareilles is one of the more. She's one of the more talented voices.
I'm sure she is a talented and lovely young woman.
Wow.
I just don't know anything of her other than that song, and I didn't even know that was her.
King of Anything.
Of course, King of Anything.
Yeah.
Do
you ever think you'd be talking about Sarah Bareilles at 6 in the morning?
There are things. Well, no.
See, this is Sarah Bareilles.
It's not easy to know.
Oh, RJ.
Tell me this isn't movie. This isn't a love song though, but this is.
No, I'm down with this genre.
She used to be mine.
Yeah, so
I'm down with this genre. I am, but
and if you can tickle the keys in general, I'm a fan of you. But if you can, if you can harmonize, and I mean, she can rock out a piano.
Is that the instrument? I know you were a drummer.
That's when you were on the drumline in high school, you signed a waiver that says anytime you can talk about this over the rest of your life, you have to bring it up. Yeah, I was on the drumline in high school.
I'm glad I got a chance to get that in today. So, do you have a regret? Like, is there an instrument you wish you played?
The piano.
Me too.
So when you're
I took lessons
when
for
you are
4
on the
years.
drum line and you go through, you play all the instruments in symphony season. You crash the cymbals, play the bass, whatever. A lot of people play the xylophone.
You're looking at first chair drummer in 7th grade, man.
Well, I knew that. But so in 7th grade, you learn the xylophone.
No, I didn't get that far. We couldn't afford one of those.
Well, the xylophone.
I paid the trash can, the Jamaican.
Have you ever seen the people who play? It's called fours. They have 2 mallets in each hand.
I've seen that,
and it's. I can't do that.
I always thought they were faking, like they're only using one. That's what I do. Like I have 3 or 4, but only really use one.
Anyway, a xylophone is the same functional setup.
Is it close to a glockenspiel?
So on rudimentary level, I kind of know how to play piano because if you know the key structure of a xylophone, you know piano. So I bet you Sarah Bareilles could play a xylophone.
I bet she could play the hell out of one.
That's right. She could probably do the fours thing.
So how long for most of the people listening to us right now probably didn't see the game, the end of the game anyway, but probably went to sleep. If you went to sleep in the second quarter, you went to sleep mad. That was the reason they lost the game. They just got a little loose, a little slippery. We're going to hear from Coach, and we're going to hear from Wemby, Devin, and what was a hard fought. It looked like the team had practiced and had taken a deep breath. Though Wemby was a little loose last night, not absolutely perfect. I thought he got probably fouled on a shot late in the game. I think whether he got fouled or not would have changed in 2 years. He gets that call. And there was a pivotal point if you missed it. We're going to talk about how the Spurs went down to Sacramento, and guess what? As a reward for falling late, they get the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. Last night, the Sudden and Willis-esque start from Sabonis was a shock. I thought everybody was kind of assuming the guy was going to be out sick. He showed up, got another double-double, and Spurs go down tonight. They get a newly refurbished LeBron who looks to come back from taking a night off as the Spurs venture out of the Lakers. We'll get you there. The free agent market with the NFL market will begin to cook very quickly. We'll talk about where the Cowboys sit, who's moving where, what's happening.
Well, Brian said in the Brigade Bar that I should sing Sarah Bareilles' love song to Dak. And Dak is kind of the spirit of that song embodied.
What?
And so we're in a weird space with Dak.
What's his name? What's this writer up at the helmet?
David Moore.
Love you, Moore. I don't want to confuse the guys.
David Hellman previously worked for DallasCowboys.com, now works for Fox Sports.
Good dude.
Back to the show.
Yeah. David Moore, good dude.
Right.
But so everybody plays their role in the media hierarchy of the Dallas Cowboys. There are the nitpickers, there are the naysayers, there are the attaboys, and there are the repeaters. And I'm not going to say what he is, but I can tell you this. We're pretty comfortable, those of us that are in the orbit, RJ in particular, who has reinforced this, that when Moore speaks, it is pretty much what the Jones, specifically Stephen Jones, wants the world to know.
I mean, he's very connected to the team.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Is the point. And so when he speaks, it's worth listening.
Yes.
It's worth acknowledging. He's a talented writer and journalist and an opinionist in that sense. He also does a lot of work on the ticket, but he also is incredibly plugged in and tied in. And so when he speaks, it is generally, at least partially molded by all of the web, tentacle weavings
with those bona fides. What did he say yesterday?
Well, he wrote an article that was effectively, the TLDR. You know what that term means?
TL what?
TL semicolon DR. It's common internet nomenclature.
I don't know.
Too long, didn't read. That's
really?
So,
wow.
So when people say TLDR, that's
I always thought that was a compliment.
So the TLDR on this is.
So give me the Cliff's Notes.
Yeah, but this is a cool way to say it. You drop a TL. Yeah, it was weird. You drop a TLDR, someone's like, this guy, this guy's streets ahead. So TLDR, David Moore's point is, whoa, Miss Lippy, maybe don't pay Dak $60 million a year, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm liking this guy more and more.
Well, of course you are, because you're a TLDR guy. I mean, it's the realities are the realities are he has them so badly. He has them in all kinds of a corner, and they're scrambling now, and they're counting on the little sheep like you all to buy your way and say, oh, he sucks and blah blah and this and that. So you got your wool coat on. Townsend.
It feels like Dak is like Tony Montana. Make way for the bad guy. $60 million.
He's probably
going to
like
it.
I mean, you should prepare yourself for this likelihood. Consider that literally. Don't even consider my opinion if you don't want to. But consider that anybody in this world, in the world of contracts and negotiations and analysis, is of the mindset that this is an inevitability. But the Cowboys, the people who have to write the check, are like, whoa, y'all don't have all the facts, So relax a little bit here.
I have never gone into any negotiations in my life with more leverage than Dak is going into with this.
True.
Don't you wish when you walk into anything and you know that no matter what, you already have their you've already got them by the, just squeeze. I'm gonna squeeze until I'm comfortable. How's that?
That expression isn't even apt enough. It's but the frustrating, if you're somebody who is frustrated by this whole situation, is it didn't have to be this way. They are in a corner. They're painted into a corner, but they have held the brush the entire time, and they put themselves here out of arrogance. And it bothers me to admit, but that's what separates them between elite front offices like the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles were so quick last year to pay Jalen Hurts, to give him $51 million a year. He was the highest paid player in NFL history for like 48 hours.
It was nice.
And now it looks like a bargain. And this will too. The same principle applies in a philosophical sense. You just have to do it. You have to go through this. You have to experience it.
Or we can go through Mr. Moore's plan. Or there's a plan B, and we'll talk about that in about 15 minutes. And justified or not is worthy of a giggly conversation because, man, oh, man, I want this to go down. But first and foremost, we're coming back, and the Spurs start at it again, but do the same things. A mid-second round collapse or second quarter collapse leads to an ultimate loss. We're going to look at what they did and what they didn't do to get there. We'll talk at Dak. And, of course, the conversation begins. News breaks yesterday afternoon that there's an opportunity for the Spurs and the city of San Antonio to come to an agreement on a locale for the next Frost Bank Center. We think and know where it is. We'll talk about the location, ideal plans for the future, and what you think. That's going to be a worthy conversation on its own. So let's start the day carbo-loaded and fully caffeinated. A list of these fine sponsors coming back prepared for some Spurs conversation. They don't go down to the Kings. Is there such a thing as a worthy loss? If there is, this was one of them. We're talking about it next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I love me some Friday morning because I know there's a full weekend ahead of the San Antonio Card House being open and waiting on me. They're open right now. You know that? If you wanted to go get a game in right now, you'd probably be joining some folks that's been there for a little bit. And if you're going to stay there for a minute, it better be comfortable. There better be a vibe worthy of staying far beyond just the game at hand. That's why I love SA Card House, because they've got everything you need. It's comfortable. You are treated as a member. As a private club member, you deserve to sit in a place that's comfortable, to be served fine foods cooked by good chefs, taken care of by professionals, knowing that if you're looking for a cash game, they got it. If you're looking for a game amongst friends, they can take care of there. And you want to know that if you're a bit there, whether you're winning or losing, you are being taken care of. That's why I love SA Card House's ongoing games. This month, they're well over $200,000 in giveaways just for sitting down and playing. Bad Beats contests all month long. Love It or Risk It contests all month long. 696. I'll say it again. 696 total hourly drawings going 24 hours a day this weekend. There's wheel spins for up to $2,000. There's Risk It value, $100 cash and $100 time or two. Take a chance. Risk It tumblers at $34,200. Let me tell you, go play, go have some fun. Go to SA Card House. Tell them I sent you, and they'll be thanking me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price to have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. If you have downloaded the Prize Picks app and you're playing, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to those that think that there's something out of reach. If you want to play a game that your skill plays a role in, I want you to download Prize Picks because it's about more or less. It's not about winning and losing. Use your knowledge to pick out who is going to do the best and decide whether it's going to be more or less. A couple of clicks before you know it, you're playing the game. And it's all about the knowledge. Download Prize Picks. You'll see what I'm talking about. Basketball is in full swing. The tournament's just around the corner. There is no better way to apply your knowledge than Prize Picks. You know your guys. You know what they're capable of. Is it higher or lower? 2 or 3 clicks, more and more X's, more and more money. And if you download Prize Picks now and use the word Alamo in your promo code, there's $100 to play with. More or less, a couple of clicks, go do it. It's Prize Picks. Start play today. Thank me later.
The way the NBA season is going in San Antonio, you need to find a way to add excitement to watching those games. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. The way to do that is by playing at Underdog at Fantasy. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select whether they will be higher or lower on stats, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Can I get a weight reading on the cat in exam 3?
Zuri needs a new vet tech after their current one literally moved to a farm. But finding an ideal replacement takes some training.
This is like herding cats.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Schedule virtual interviews and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Tax day is coming.
Oh, no.
But if you sign up for Robinhood Gold's IRA with a 3% match, you can get up to $195 for the 2023 tax year.
Oh, yeah.
Sign up at Robinhood.com/boost by tax day to get the biggest contribution match on the market. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Robinhood Financial, LLC, member SIPC.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow, and it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is Andy Monaco and the Aggies right here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, huddle up. The Morning Huddle. He's RJ. I'm Rob. Easy E driving this boat. It's Friday. Please act appropriately.
Woo!
That's a morning show gig. Am I having a stroke or the lights?
No, they're definitely.
Wow, that is not. That's if you were in our studio right now, you'd have to read that little disclaimer that's on the top left of your channel whenever you work to watch like the Disney Channel.
Oh, the
lights might flash.
This show includes.
I'm going to turn those
effects
lights off, dude. It's going to give me a headache.
That may.
Do you mind if I turn the lights off?
No. Are you going to turn them all off? Like we're going to do this in the dark? Let's see. Rob is actually. That's fully dark. Oh, okay. Yeah, that really didn't make much of a difference at all.
No, not
so,
at all.
Wow.
Although you look a little shadowy, a little shifty.
Have you ever experienced strobe after effect on a ride?
All the time. Half my life is strobe after effect. I did a lot of stuff in Nam.
Okay. Well, I experienced strobe after effect last night. Some of it was the Bill Miller uniforms, and having a look at them. And that's
the what?
The Bill Miller uniform.
That is the best application of that term that has been given since Bill gave those uniforms and shrunk the chicken strips, which is worth an entire 15-minute rant.
So the uniforms in general are awful, but they look so out of place next to such a modern-looking uniform like the Kings. And so it was just a really weird and brown against black and purple is a weird, just kind of visual balance.
It is as bad. I am a firm believer that you play. If you feel good, you play good. If you look good, you play good. I've always been like that. You want to like your uniform.
The Dionism is you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
You feel good, you play good. You play good, they pay good. They pay good, you live good.
And I've always been a believer in that.
Well, they didn't help last night.
So roll out and you show up to the locker room and you flew in on a beautiful jet. You're staying in the finest hotel Sacramento or the region has to offer. You've had yourself a nice little get back to work day. You show up to the stadium and there's a brown warm up laid out. Like, oh man, I hope I brought the good shoes to go with the brown warm ups.
As a Homer Hanna High School alum,
I'm sorry, I know.
Yeah, our
I know
people never believe me. Our graduation gowns were brown, and our school colors, I mean, they remain brown and gold. But at the time, the gold very often turned into mustard yellow.
Yes, that is the worst combo of all.
Yeah. Anyway, those colors were felt in spirit,
and we played well. You know what?
Don't
do it.
Don't.
Hey, you rolled into Sacramento, which is a rough place to play. That's a fast. That backcourt is as quick as anybody. And the Spurs came out. Jeremy played so well until the turnover late, but he played the energy he brought, the defense he played, the rebounds, and the dunk. It was as good a first quarter as you could have expected coming off the break. And the Spurs do that. When Pop has some days, they always come out looking like a better team for at least a couple. And then they realize who they are and fall into old ways. Now it's just getting, maybe this will linger for 3 games, but they'll make a mistake. And last night, you trip and fall and suddenly you give up 8 points and the game's over.
That's who you are, though. I mean,
yeah.
You can't, it feels like you have, like your car is one that you like have to work on and rev up, and the engine, and the moment it comes to actually kind of try and race it, it fails. Like you're not competing. You don't have the same equipment as the big boys, and I mean, it felt inevitable. I felt like how is this going to end? What is the painful way this is going to end? And lo and behold, I mean,
do you at this point last year when we were chasing Wemby, this was, in our minds, the perfect game.
Oh, compete, but lose.
Compete, and then the last 30 seconds, just give the game away and tiptoe out and go, you know what, if we'd have really tried, have that in the back of your mind. If we'd have really executed, we'd have won.
But now that that's a lie.
No, I don't know if that's a lie.
It is a lie.
I'm not sure that last night the substitution pattern was odd. I think that there was a valid
exit. The code red was ordered.
There might have been a bit. I mean,
we want him on that wall. We need Pop there.
I'm not sure Malachi Brenham's the answer there late.
I just don't think this was anything to do with Santiago and the.
I'm not. No, there's sins of commission and omission. You can commit a an act.
Well,
and you can allow things to happen.
But you already did this. You already.
Well, here we are again, though, dude. We got fewer wins now than we did last year.
I know.
Feels like.
I mean, and despite what is there to trust in that product? Hey, guys, trust us. If we play really well and then throw it away at the end, we'll get the generational prospect, and then everything will change. That literally didn't happen. You did all that. You lost the games. It was frustrating. We had the perfect losses, so to speak. You got the generational prospect. He is a generational player. So what more do you wanted the generational prospect to turn into the general player? That's okay. Done. Mission accomplished. Why is everything else around it taking so long to work in parallel with it? It's silly and ridiculous that we're still here.
Watching, and they're not the same player. And you ask, why are we doing this? Watching De'Aaron Fox last night and having a guard that, it would be so nice.
This was when you go on vacation and you're like, oh man, imagine what it would be like to live here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just, I never in my life imagined that I would be jealous of the Sacramento Kings.
And I am. That's a team that's fun to watch. Sabonis is a double-double machine. De'Aaron is a straight up baller when he gets playing downhill, and last night they let him get going downhill, and we paid the price. Though let's give some love to Devin Vassell, because he's taken a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and I think coming out of the break, we heard from him yesterday, he was by far the most professional in his response to what his goals are for the second half of the season. And speaking the truth, hey man, we got all to accept the fact that this team sucks, and we got to try to win some games and accept maybe doing some stuff we're not happy with, to paraphrase what he said. And he went out and backed it up last night. Over 30, hit good shots, played energetic defense.
Didn't outshoot Wemby. I mean, like in that sense, perfect game for Devin. And this, Devin, you want to live in this orbit, we can work. You know what I mean? This is and this sounds like a demerit against him, but this is, you need Scottie Pippen.
Needed Robin.
That's what I'm saying. You need that dude. And it does still feel like the New Orleans game, and that moment was an inflection point where everybody involved said, look, this just isn't going to work. And this isn't best for Wemby. This isn't best for Devin. This isn't best for Pop. This isn't best for Rob. You know what I mean? And everyone now kind of understands their role. It's just a matter of it working towards the overall goal, and it still isn't in that sense. But good for Devin. It is not easy to respond the way he has to the whole city hating you the way that they did after that loss.
32 points last night. Did it on 13 of 18 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3. Very effective. Wemby had a typical kind of Wemby-esque game. But it's time to,
1 for 6 from 3. I mean, there's
some things we got to talk about with Victor. And at 7:00 when we do our Silver and Black Daily, you're not going to want to miss it, because it's time to address one of the big problems in the room. Is Wemby, while the numbers are there, some of the things he does need to be fixed. And I understand Pop's willingness to be kind, but now maybe we need to use a couple of those cuss words that Victor liked to use on national TV. But coming up, we'll talk some NFL. As Dak's about to get the deal, the ongoing fight, and a column that might show some serious negotiations are afoot amongst the Jones boys and Dak Prescott. Let's talk some NFL. That's what we do best, and we're doing it next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is Friday. The weekend is in sight. We got a lot to talk about, including the Spurs, who are going back-to-back against the Lakers tonight.
Yeah, plus the NFL Combine starts next week. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, what is your wish list? What order
Super
are you?
Bowl?
Well, besides that, what is your order to get those players to get to that Super Bowl?
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Get to Twin Peaks for their beer-battered fish and chips. This beer-battered cod is served with house-made tartar, malt vinegar, and french fries, and score them along with a 22-ounce Miller Lite or Coors Light for just $12. That's every Friday through Easter. Twin Peaks!
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's expensive, Get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the Cobra Dark Speed Driver. Engineered with advanced aerodynamics, power bridge technology, and a large hot face for more speed and consistency. Visit us in store for a free custom fitting at Edwin Watts Golf Shops or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Everyday Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Let our team keep your home running comfortable and worry-free. Call on Mr. Electric for all your electrical needs. 210-248-2026. Or get a hold of us online at MrElectric.com and enter your zip code.
License number TECL 34221.
I was afraid to cut the cord, but once I did, I couldn't believe it took so long to do it. Paying too much for my cable bill had become a bad habit. I either wasn't getting what I wanted or never knew where to find any of my favorite shows until it was too late. Plus, the prices just kept going up. Thankfully, I discovered a new way to watch called Philo. For just $25 a month, I can catch all my favorite shows on networks like BET, MTV, and TLC. It even has Nickelodeon for my kids. I can watch anytime I want, anywhere I want. Plus, Philo lets me have up to 3 streams at once, so everyone can watch what they want at the same time. Throw in the unlimited DVR that saves all my favorites for up to a year, and this really is the best deal in TV. I just wish I hadn't waited so long. Sound too good to be true? Well, try it out for yourself, and you'll see why people who love TV love Philo. Go to philo.tv, that's philo.tv, and start your 7-day free trial now.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the Home of the Cowboy. San Antonio Sports Star.
Thanks, Jason. It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. I have this thing. It's called a promotional suite. Talks about all the things that are going around our fair station.
Actually called promo.
Well, I wanted to give people the full gist of what's happening. Last night, if you were tuned in, you heard a $50 gift card given away, as the Blitz does every week. So if you're doing any grilling this weekend, make sure you take a picture of it, upload it to sasportstar.com, and next Thursday at 6, tune into the Blitz Boys and let them evaluate your meat. Winner walks away with a $50 gift card. That's a worthy thing to have at Tri-County. Great meat and great costs. Let me talk about our golf tournament real fast. March the 25th, Golf Club of Texas. I haven't gotten an update in about 24 to 36 hours. We were under 10 teams available to play or to sign up. I assume it's gotten smaller. If you want to play, sign up as fast as you can. You can do that at sasportstar.com. We want to thank our friends over at Flight by Yingling for helping us get this party started. Did you hear the song real quick when I said that? You didn't hear the song in your head when I said that, RJ? No, I thought you'd.
I'm still on Love Song, Sarah B.
Find out all the deets at sasportstar.com. His name is David Moore. He is a writer of great esteem and has a reputation for being very plugged into the Cowboys' perspective.
So he wrote an article, came out yesterday, Thursday. It's titled, it's in the Dallas Morning News, support local journalism.
There's no such thing as that.
I'm just saying, read the paper. This is not this in this case local, but it's local journalism. It's the title article. It's complicated. Here's the real issue with the Cowboys and a Dak Prescott extension. Now, if you follow David on Twitter and you go, do you ever go check out the quote tweets on something?
I follow the quote tweets all the time, RJ.
Well, so every quote tweet is like, quit carrying the water for the Joneses and blah, blah, blah. Because this article, like a lot that he's written in the past, is very anti-player. If in the realm of getting the player paid as much as possible, very slow down, wait a minute, what's best for the team, et cetera, et cetera. This article, and look, David's a much more talented writer than my lowly blogger self. About 100 words in, he asks the question, is he a franchise quarterback? Rob, you can say whatever you want. Dak finished
second in MVP voting. Even other people agree that he is. So
what are we doing here?
Argument.
He goes on to talk, and I'm really not trying to just criticize this article, but he says there are currently, he says this is all about where Dak ranks. No, it's not. There's no history of this. You can't change the rules now because it's your turn and you don't like them. The way quarterback contracts work, and people get so pissed off and type in caps lock all the time, thinking that is going to make their point be heard on a different level, this is a pass-fail proposition. To answer your question, David Moore, yes, he is a franchise quarterback. So if we follow the flow chart in terms of what that means, it means you get paid market rate. Following one more step, what is market rate? A little bit more than the last guy got. For all the people whining and complaining about $60 million, that happens to be the number right now. That's a little bit more than the last guy got. Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals, right when last season began. That's how and why we are where we are.
Over the last couple of years, we saw the market of the running back just cradle.
I'd say about for the last decade-ish.
Yeah, it's slowly gone down as the perceived value per play and dollar and all that. Quarterbacks have escalated, though. It was interesting watching the Lamar Jackson. It turned out okay, but there weren't a lot of takers for Lamar. If we look back when the Ravens said, "Yeah, go make your deal and come back and talk to us," and there wasn't, he made a good deal. He got paid. But it didn't feel like there are a bunch of teams lined up to go any further or beyond what Baltimore might have been offering.
It depends how much you believe that he was really
available. You're right. But what I'm saying is I get the sense, and I'm not sure if I'm there yet, but there might be this subcurrent amongst owners that maybe it's time to reset the way that quarterbacks are paid, kind of way they did with running backs.
Take that chance. Be that team.
There's that I'm going to throw out there. I'll also say that because the fact that we're even having this conversation tells me that this is ham-handed negotiating yet again by the Jones family, that they're doing things in public that should be done in private. This is a natural progression in the negotiating ploy. They're going to grasp at everything that would lessen the value of the quarterback and highlight all the negatives. But normally that's done in private and it's expected by the parties. Like, of course you're going to say that. My retort is this and the dollar value attached to that. And we come to an agreement. That's negotiating 101. But the fact that we're doing it in public and it's so obvious.
And if you're somebody who is not Team Dak, which you haven't been, or you're on that side
I'm
of the
on the fence.
No, but hang on. If you're one of those people and you say, well, why is Dak? Why does it? Because this is the negotiating he's dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, you
again,
know,
guys?
Yeah, like,
seriously, again.
Dak is playing by the rules of engagement. And I'm always team player. Like, whoever you play for, I want every player to get paid as much as they possibly can. But the Joneses do not understand how this works. You brought up Lamar. So this is, I mean, I'm not saying it's easy to be an NFL agent, but this is so easy to say, well, what'd the last guy get? Let's get a little bit more. You brought up Lamar. That deal happened one day after Jalen Hurts got paid last offseason. Jalen Hurts got $51 million a year. The Ravens said, oh, just a little bit more than that.
$1 more. Here we go.
He got $52 million a year. Lamar did. I mean, and Jalen Hurts had a poor season for the Eagles, but guess what? Dak or somebody is going to make $60 million in the very near future. And the Jalen Hurts deal looks like a bargain. And you brought it up. Matt Ryan was our friend, by the way, Matt Ryan.
Good friend of the show.
Matt Ryan was the first quarterback to hit $30 million per year. That happened 7 years ago.
Wow.
Just 7 years ago. And it was like, I can't believe a quarterback is making $30 million per year. What's going on? Why is this money? Welcome to the world that the NFL completely owns, where Amazon will pay $120 million to stream one playoff game. The television deals have poured and poured and poured in, and those things raise the salary cap. So you can whine and complain and shout in caps lock, but the percentages here,
that's what we need to be worried about.
But they're identical. The percentage of salary cap space that this contract will take up is identical to the percentage that Dak's last contract took up, or that Joe Burrow's, or Lamar Jackson's, or Jalen Hurts's at the time of their respective negotiations.
What position is rising in that position pie? Is there a position that suddenly, oh my goodness, now my gosh, we knew we were going to have to pay quarterbacks 15% of our, that's the whatever that rate is across most salary caps. I don't know what that number is. I'm just pulling something out. And as we watch the percentage of the running back pie decrease, we're just not going to pay backs. Well, somewhat that money went to quarterbacks, but not all of it. What's the other position that suddenly that are getting paid that didn't used to get paid?
I would say wide receiver.
Is it wide receiver
wide
two?
Wide receiver two, because you're one. But think about it. I mean, I mentioned Matt Ryan. The quarterback is different, right? Everybody knows. And 7 years ago, quarterbacks were making $30 million a year. I would believe that CD and Micah are both going to make north of $30 million a year.
So linebackers have always gotten paid, but maybe there's more of them getting paid.
But so linebackers,
edge rushers. Forgive me.
Right.
Came at it's the general manager there for just saying, he's a linebacker. His hand's not in the dirt.
Exactly.
Stand up and pay you less.
So money positions: quarterback, left tackle, top wide receiver, top corner. But in today's NFL, you need that second wide receiver. You need that second corner. Safety's kind of been a depreciating market as well, but kind of on its way back. Interior defensive lineman, it depends if you have an Aaron Donald or a Chris Jones or, God willing, a Mozzie Smith someday. Interior offensive lineman. Some teams have a right tackle that's worth paying, premium dollar for. Look at Lane Johnson in the Philadelphia Eagles. Or this is a really unique thing. If you have a left-handed quarterback, obviously that becomes a more specific.
You got a problem with a left-handed quarterback?
No, but I'm saying that your right tackle is much more valuable there because that is your blind side relative to if your quarterback is right-handed. That's all.
Just want to make sure.
This is all, and that's why acting like the rules have to change right now is so toddler whiny.
Or be a
screaming.
Disruptor. This is what they told Apple before the computer.
Okay, we
don't do it that way. You can't do it that way because if you do it that way, that'd mean doing things different. And
you want to be Steve Jobs?
Then we scare it.
Okay, by all means, pee into the wind. Find out what happens.
I've done that many times.
Have you seen the scale, the F around and find out?
Yes.
We're
in those uncharted realms. We're in that arc of discovery.
Yeah,
up there.
You are effing around. And the more you do, the more you're going to find out. So you want to go to the peak of that.
Okay. I agree with what you're saying. So taken as assumption, and we'll take it as fact for this question. If Moore is floating this, and the assumption is that the Jones are saying it, do we assume that they believe it and they are willing to go, you know what? At the end of the day, we're just laying the groundwork. We're going to do just what Denver did. We're going to rip this Band-Aid off, and it's going to hurt like a bee. And for the next year, under a coach that's already a lame duck, this is going to be a weird year, man.
If you want to do what Denver did, by all means, these are not the same circumstances. Again, if you want to argue and you want to debate and you want to quibble over guaranteed money and things like that, go ahead. That's the art of negotiation. But if you want to boil things down to, is he a franchise quarterback? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not negotiating. You're just trying to be one-sided, and you're making yourself look stupid in the process.
It is we're almost to spring break. RJ's going to take a little sojourn with the family. Let's talk some road trip etiquette, things that are good and worth doing in between here and the destinations within, 5 hours from San Antonio. Got your stopping points? I love to ask this question. Ever had a gut pack in Waco? Ever had a kolache in Waxahachie? Ever visited the meat church up there? Let's talk about the roads here in the South and Central Texas as the weekend looks pretty. RJ's hitting them. Are you? We'll talk about it next. You're on 94.1, the San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hello, this is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our coastal waterfront grand opening on March 2nd, where you can get 2 acres with bay access for only $49.9. That's right, 2 acres bay access for only $49.9. This coastal waterfront community has over 4 miles of water frontage with access to the ICW, Gulf, Matagorda Bay, and much more. Property features paved roads, underground utilities, boat launch, pier, pool, cabana, and more. This property is shown by appointment only. Call now, 210-853-0389, 210-853-0389, 210-853-0389, 210-853-0389.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated. That used to be me. Then I got this. Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right? Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Get $5 off at alignprobiotics.com.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
Marcus, what happened?
I was changing my oil and I spilled some on the floor.
Oh, well, use these $50 bills to wipe it up.
Perfect. Got any more?
Yeah, take a couple hundred.
Stop. Instead of using money, use an old rag. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here from my friends over at SA Card House. You know where it is. It's over on 281 in Bidders. My private card house. You better make them yours. It's private entry. You need to be a member. But membership, well, I'll tell you what, it does have its benefits. When you go play at SA Card House, there's things you need to expect. The vibe is always going to be spectacular. Foster's Grill is going to bring you great food morning, noon, and night. The hours are going to be appropriate to when you want to play. They're going to have the cash games you're chasing. They're going to have the environment that you're going to want to bring friends and family to. And then you add to the special that only SA Card House can bring. And it's just for being there that you get to enjoy. Like the Bad Beats tournament that's going on all month long. $5,000 Bad Beat table distribution, 20% goes to the loser of a hand. Winner can pull 20%. Reset amount is $5,000. It's progressive after 2 months. There's so much going on with the Bad Beat Tournament. Love it or risk it continues all February long. 120 to 200K giveaway just for the month. Listen, SA Card House, 281 and bidders. Go today. Thank me later.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocation, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Huddle up! The Morning Huddle. You're on San Antonio Sports Star. We're glad you're with us. If you are listening terrestrially, thank you. If you are able to use your AT&T, congratulations. I'm amongst those. When did your phone come back on? Mine hit about 2. You can watch us live at the sasportstar.com on said device. Please go there. Continue to like on the regular basis. Subscribe. Share. Do what you can.
My phone never went out.
My wife's didn't, but mine did.
Well,
I don't understand. It
says a lot about you.
There's something behind this, but I did feel for several hours yesterday, kind of like one of those HBO specials or like a Marvel Universe thing where I suddenly didn't matter, like I had evaporated, like Ghost, like I was in the room, but you couldn't see me because I didn't have phone access.
Are you saying Ghost, the movie?
Yeah, yeah. As it should be applied.
I've never seen that movie. I did see the Broadway show. It was awful.
Well, how could they even do that?
I don't know.
Did they try to make it look like she was a ghost?
Yeah. They have lights.
So it was like she was lit weird. How did they do the sensual clay scene?
I really don't remember.
Did you block it out?
Yeah, it didn't have a lasting impact on me. What is your ideal road trip snack?
Kolaches. They're born for the
No,
road.
I'm talking something available in a general convenience store. That's not general.
I hate most of the stuff in the it's all trash.
Okay, so I've seen you eat a lot of things that
I don't eat like that
trash.
in the car because it gets
I've seen that.
I will eat good, prepared, greasy, awful kind of stuff, but stuff out of it like a bag of Funyuns. I know
who eats Funyuns.
I'm just saying.
No one has eaten a bag of Funyuns in like 6 years.
I beg to differ.
Yeah, I bet nobody does that.
Someone please ring in, post a picture. You probably got Funyuns next to you right now.
I promise you, nobody on Earth has had a bag of Funyuns in a long time.
I guarantee you that our morning crew.
That's like saying
I can assure you, our morning crew had it with a little bit with some beer poured over the top, like a breakfast of champions.
Did you ever eat the Bugles when you put on your fingers?
Bugles, another food form of indiscriminate organ. Blah, where'd that come from? Origination.
Maybe that came from
Are Bugles still a thing? Is that something that
I think if Funyuns are a thing?
Oh, please.
Then Bugles are a thing.
No, if I had to, beef jerky.
That's a good answer. Yeah. I think my answer is some sort of like a Whataburger chicken tender setup.
Here's another separator question. You go into a convenience store, they have the fountains with ice and cups and all that, or the bottle. Which direction are you going?
I'm a Bob guy.
No, well, I am, but here's the problem. There's a wildly disparate different ways of the combination of flavoring and carbonation. I don't know who decides that in that back room.
That's fair. That's
I don't know if there's an extra class like you grade up to where you can mix the level of carbonation and sweetening, but it's very different from store to store. Some places do it well. Some go too much one way, other way. So you can't trust it, but I'd much prefer the floats. Much. Put it on ice. It's easier. You got a straw. It is normally a styrofoam cup, well protected. We got to go. Hey, coming back, let's talk some Spurs. They hit the road. It didn't go well. We'll figure out how it went and figure out what LeBron will mean to the Lakers as the Spurs head south from Sacramento to Lakerland. Spurs go down. We're talking about it next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Looks like it's going to be a cool weekend, perfect weekend to stand over the grill over some fine meats coming out of Tri-County Meat Market. You know, when you walk into a Tri-County, either one of their locations, Heaven or Ralph Fair, know going in that you're starting at prime and working your way up as far as the gradations of your beef. You start getting into the land of Wagyu and Akaushi, and then you start talking about the extremes, the extraordinary, the greats. Every cut of meat that comes out of a Tri-County store will be better than anything you're going to find in a box store. So we can start there. But what they do with the meat when you need it is really unique too, because if you want something special, they're there. They're available and they will do it. They're the ones that cut it the first time. They don't got it. They're going to go get it. You know, sometimes you want to try something new, like maybe a giant rib roast that you've never done before, but they look beautiful. How do you tie it up? How do you do all that? Ask the guy behind the counter. If you walk in not knowing what you want, the specials are always in play. 5 for $25 is the best deal in San Antonio. Go prove it to yourself. Head over this weekend. If you're a first responder, you better use the 10% off. You've earned it. They want to thank you for it. That's what Tri-County does. You're looking for something special, they'll take care of you. Looking for something unique you might not have seen before, coming from parts close and parts far, they've got that too. Looking for a new rub, they got it. Go to either one of those locations, put some great meat on the grill from Tri-County Meat Market, and I know you're going to thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text MAIN to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now. now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text MAIN to 42424. That's MAIN to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's good!
Your home for Major League Baseball. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, he was a game-time decision, but Domantas Sabonis jumped out of the illness for his fourth triple-double in 5 games. He led the Kings to a 127-122 win over the San Antonio Spurs as their first game back from the rodeo road trip break ends in a loss. Oh, yeah, the Spurs might have found a new place to build a building. We're talking about it.
Wembanyama three. Good! Goes behind the back here. Oh! Little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama. Drive. Oh, it's knocked away by Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather around. We got something to talk about. This is the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. That guy said it. I'll say it again. He is the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, our Cowboy contact, our good friend, our studio co-host, RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. Easy E on the other side of the double pane. We got 3 hours of laughter-filled talk radio headed your way. Settle in. Enjoy it. Although last night was fun. If you got tired like I did and decided to maybe just go on to bed, you probably chose well, because that way you went to bed with visions of victory in your head. The Spurs fought back after a second quarter kind of drought, have a valiant third quarter and a heck of a fourth quarter, and fight to the bitter end. Then Sohan, I believe, gave up the ball, a little turnover underneath the rim. Wemby had the ball on the block to maybe get a shot off to take a lead. It's kind of a fadeaway three from behind a fadeaway jumper from the corner about the side of the backboard. Didn't get a foul call. 8 straight points later. Final score 127-122 Sacramento. The takeaway, any at all, other than, oh no, we suck again?
Well, I don't think that would be accurate, because the oh no, we suck again implies that there was a moment in time that you thought you didn't suck. You know what I'm saying? So there's like a regression to this. You know, this isn't a sine cosine curve. You know what I mean? Where we're up and down. Like, we're just down.
But how about valiant and effort?
No,
Okay.
I'm so sick of that, dude. I'm so sick of looking for moral victories against the Kings. You know what I mean? Like, this is, Do you know the last time the Spurs held a positive win probability? I know you know I love this game.
A positive win probability.
Yeah.
When
No, in the game.
Well, we had a lead there with about a minute and a half.
It's pretty good for you off the top of head. So the coffee's worked this morning.
Thank you.
It was at a minute 37
Yeah.
left in the game. Spurs up by 2. They held a 60.1% win probability. That dropped in over the ensuing 16 seconds significantly. And then Sacramento just kind of, put things in cruise control from that point on. And that's like, I don't think I'm ridiculous, and people who feel the same are ridiculous for wanting more, for wanting what is the game? And I don't mean to make this about Wemby, but at this point, it's okay to criticize him. What is the game that Wemby has taken over and shut down?
Okay, you're valid, and I think that this is where we kind of need to land as Spurs fans, because Pop has done everything he can to make sure that this is a warm, welcoming, and growing environment for his young player. Nothing negative will linger. No sadness shall enter. We will fight until we are good without any hesitance toward the good, not the bad. And I get it, but at some point, dude, the numbers are great. In fact, Edwin, will you find it was Pop pregame talking about what he got in Wemby? The surprise, he expected a lot, but wow, he didn't expect this. I believe it's the leading the league in block shots, because you get the sense that he's starting to get a little mad at it.
It's more than I expected as far as the stats are concerned. I didn't know he was going to lead the league in shot blocking.
He's getting more than he expected, yet the return is not there. And he goes on in pregame, and it's not harsh, but he said more than once, the turnovers. Well, we got to talk about the turnovers, dude. The most valuable thing you have is, one, your exclusive rights and services deal with Louis Vuitton. That's pretty damn cool. That's pretty valuable. The second most valuable thing you have is the basketball, because that basketball allows you to get that really cool, valuable thing, the LV thing. Protect the damn ball. It ain't that hard. They're coming for it, and they're coming in ways you don't expect. Expect the unexpected. I know that's weird. It's starting to drive me crazy, man. For every 3 steps you take forward, you're taking 1 back. Now, I like those other 2, leading the league in blocks and filling every box and being available for a lot of stuff, but and it's not the late turnovers. I know there's a light on you. You are the magnet, and the shot you took, thank God you took the shot. Thank God you were given the opportunity to take the shot. I'm not mad at you for the shot. It was not the best shot, but it was a shot. It's the turnover in the middle of the third where you don't look back, you don't look at your toes. You don't see where guys are coming. It's the bad bounce pass. It's the you're trying to be too much of a giver turnover. That it's got to stop. It's as bad as Zach Collins' defense in the post.
So while I share in the mindset that it's fair to criticize Wemby, we don't have to act like Wemby's perfect, Wemby's infallible. Like this topic is one of those things where people offer the most obvious disclaimer. You know what I mean? I love Wemby. Look, none of us have to admit this. Nobody.
Very adept.
Yeah, nobody wants to move on. Like, we're all grateful. We don't have to say this a million different times. So that being said, while I am definitely of the mindset that it's okay to take the kid gloves off and treat him a little harshly when merited and when earned, I also think if anyone has built up sort of pre-stock benefit of the doubt, it's him. Especially when the blocks are a significant thing. So he is leading the NBA. He has 161 blocks. Do you know who's second in the NBA?
I would guess Gobert, but
it's Chet. Gobert is 6th.
Wow.
And to that point, Wemby has 161 blocks. Gobert was the first name that came to your mind. Gobert has 111.
Which would have led the league, I think, most years.
Think about that. Wemby has 50 more blocks than him. And even then, Chet is second at 146. He has 15 more blocks. He has more than 10% more of Chet's blocks in terms of the gap. He is averaging 3.2 blocks per game. Tied for second, I should say. is a value. Chet is there. Brook Lopez is there. 2.7.
Mhm.
He is good for a half block a game more than anybody else. So because of that greatness, hell yeah, I'm willing to overlook a turnover. If you're gonna be, of the mindset like, oh well, Wemby has these turnovers, we got, whatever. Then what, dude? I want to see you cuss these other guys out too. Then, like, if you're gonna do this with him, you know what I mean? Like, maybe be harsher on the talent that you're not developing around him, because that's the problem in the ecosystem.
Oh, no doubt. I'm just, last night it felt like for about 5 minutes there late in the fourth, it was execution at work, but it was more about hustle, and I felt like they wanted it more. And then one bad thing happens, and the whole team, you could just see their shoulders slump. And granted, the Kings were on fire. Step back threes hit like that to close a game down.
Dude,
I mean, sometimes God is ordained. But you got to be playing defense. And that's my next step here. So first of all, if you're the leader, take control of the game defensively and do that when it matters. And you were as good as you could have been, considering they did what I thought they were going to do to him. They ran him around. He was tired by the end of the game. But own the end of the game in ways that maybe not are affected by your scoring. And 8 straight points, 2 really open threes. It was while the offense was bad, the defense was what lost the game there at the end. 65 points given up in the first half, that 8 straight point run in the second half. At some point, do you think if Pop wants to win that you just go get your guy and defend him? At what point are we going to go, these defensive lapses are because the scheme is evidently above them? I guess we still are worried more about improvement than wins. Because you see, I felt like, if you'd have just called timeout in that last minute and a half and just say, play defense, you got him, don't let him get to the rim, don't let him shoot, deny the ball. And we did that with 5 guys instead of this help side defense that we continue to get confused by. The dunk late when Zach Collins just rolled backwards on that high pick and roll. Play some defense, man.
They don't have an interest.
Don't be a poster.
That's not, that's not part of the MO right now.
And that's, I think, what is so aggravating. And it has to hurt everybody involved, because you've got to learn to play NBA level defense to win games consistently. But to get there, you have to suffer over and over to the point where you go, I'd rather just play old school one-on-one ball defense for 48 minutes and maybe give myself a chance, knowing at least I'll know where the problems are, instead of I can't have this guy play with this guy because he doesn't help in time because this guy can't defend left. And you're like, man, the puzzle that Pop has to solve here seems almost insurmountable.
But the puzzle is designed by them. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. So why not at some point go, you know what? We're just going to go 5-on-5. Let's line up in the last 3 minutes. You go over the top of picks. You never go under and defend.
Because that would require the main and primary objective to be winning games. And they're just they're cool going through the motions right now, man. I mean,
oh man,
they've punted on this season a long time ago.
They look good. I'm not going to go there today. Because I was impressed up until the very end. I mean, it was, and I'm not going to let that little bit of the youngest team in basketball ruin what I thought was a heck of an outing.
Okay, so you know what this is a matter of? 2 things. You remember how over the last few weeks I have kind of called out Cowboys fans and said, how are you guys excited about this Mike Zimmer thing? We were all ready to, light this place on fire. And now, I've lost 70% of you in my fight. I'm here standing by myself like John Travolta, right? And yesterday I called out EA, right? Like we're supposed to be impressed that you're making a college football video game and it has all of the college football
every last one of them
in it. Like this is, you want credit for putting your pants on. But so I tweeted about the college football thing, obviously, after we discussed it in our grievances, and somebody responded to me and said, hype is fun. And that's the phenomenon you're experiencing today with the Spurs. You know the truth. All right. And I understand you're saying I'm not willing to go there today because today you just want to feel good. You know,
I do.
That's all you want. You just want to feel good about the Spurs. And I don't blame you for that. Like this emotion is a sine or cosine curve. There are days where, you know what, man, I just want to pretend life is good. Wimby, it's awesome, it's fun, whatever, blah, blah. Trae Young, everything is possible for us. And then there's other days where it's like, this team sucks. Like, this team's terrible. I can't stand to watch them play basketball, and I can't believe I have to do it with them wearing these god-awful uniforms. I mean, like, everything about it is just attacking me visually. So maybe we're on different signs or different, or on different elements or different sides of the y-axis, x-axis. I think it's.
I was told there'd be no math.
It's the x-axis.
Okay.
So you're on the positive side. I'm on the negative side. But I just can't. I'm not going to allow myself to, to say, man, you know what? They really hung with the Kings, and I respect that.
They did, and again, I'm impressed. I like the Kings lineup. That's a fun team to watch. De'Aaron Fox is good. And as good and as bad as the defense was and wasn't last night, equal fast break points, 13 each. Points in the paint was pretty darn even, 72-70 for the Kings. They did the things that you're supposed to do to win. 8 turnovers. If we are talking, moral victories, there's a lot of it in there. There really was. It was just a young team plays like a young team at the worst possible time, and they did it last night. Bad shot, weird turnover, boom, 8 points, game over. Spurs head down south. And I will tell you this, I get the sense tonight the Spurs are going to be tuned. LeBron's going to come back. I think the Spurs are going to be tuned up. I think this will be as good a game as they're going to play on the rodeo road trip will be tonight. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win, but I do think they're going to win.
What is the line? Because Vegas always knows.
I bet it's.
So, by the way, yesterday when we chatted, the line had moved down to 9. It got down to 7.
Well,
at one point.
I told you.
Well, they did cover, but they are 10-point dogs today. The Spurs.
I still like them. I'd take that in 10.
They are the 3rd biggest underdogs of the day. The only 2 teams who are up against bigger spreads are Washington against the Thunder. They're 15.5-point dogs, and the Hornets against the Warriors are 13-point dogs.
And you know what? I like the Hornets. I like that number, and I like the Spurs.
Oh my gosh!
Look at what the Hornets have done over the last 5 games. They're playing better.
I know what they did against the Spurs, but what about the Wizards? You're not going that far.
No, I wouldn't. But I do like those others. I'd pay real close attention. Jump on your prize picks over under. Check your guys. I like the Wemby matchup tonight. 1-1 this year. They've already split one. They know how they have the Lakers number.
Well, this is LeBron auditioning too. LeBron doesn't want to embarrass the Spurs too badly so that things aren't awkward.
I do think that we should know ahead of time what uni they're wearing. I think that matters.
What is the best Spurs-Lakers uniform matchup?
Spurs in black, Lakers in yellow.
That's the correct answer.
Yeah.
I mean an acceptable second answer would be Spurs in white, Lakers in yellow.
I do remember a lot of Sundays when we would be there for one of the the 3:00 Sunday afternoon basketball game, and they'd be in their Sunday white, and David and Tim would roll out that silver and black.
That's
good times, my friend. Good times.
Good answer. Spurs blacks against Lakers golds. Oh man, what a great man.
This is just in passing as we talk silver and black every day. He was never a member of the silver and black, but he did wear the blue and yellow of St. Mary's. Bobby Joe Reed, Robert Reed passed away this week, number 50 with the Houston Rockets. Played with the St. Mary's Rattlers back when the early Buddy Meyer days. We lost him this week. A great San Antonio baller back in the day. Always a great kind of ambassador to the game in Houston as he was with those early Rockets teams on that Twin Towers team with Ralph and Akeem way, way back when. One of the greats in San Antonio history in the basketball side of things. We lost this week. RIP to those that loved him. Coming back, we got some football talk headed your direction. Dak's going to get it. We just got to accept it. But who's going to get the residuals? And is Steven playing hardball through the press, or is this just the standard negotiating ploy? We're talking about that. After that, I want to make sure you guys are around. About 7:45, we're going to talk about some news that came down yesterday. That it's the beginning of a process of where the Spurs are moving to next. The life of what is currently the Frost Bank Center, what was the AT&T for most of its life. It's winding down. It's time to build anew as we have a big new superstar. So does he need his own stadium? We think we know where it's going to be. We need to talk about that. For those who know where the Institute of Texan Cultures is and know what it was, that could be the locale or maybe across the street and actually the parking lot of the Alamo Dome. I'd heard that as well. It's time to talk about it. Are we ready to pay for it? We'll talk about that at 7:45. Coming back. Free agent talk. Where's your dollar go? Put your money where your mouth is. And are the Cowboys beginning to do that right now? That's next here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A four-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of four can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The venue's set. Families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Strap in for some full-throttle fierceness because a new season of RuPaul's Drag Race on MTV is speeding down the runway. And Philo is the most affordable way to watch it. What's Philo? It's 70-plus channels of live and on-demand TV for an unbeatable price. You'll get top channels like MTV, VH1, AMC, Discovery, BET, Nickelodeon, and more, all for just $25 a month. You can watch Philo with your laptop, tablet, phone, or TV and stream on 3 devices at a time. It even lets you create multiple profiles, so you'll never have to fight over what to watch, and you can always pick right up where you left off. Plus, Philo's unlimited DVR has more than enough space to save all your favorite episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race and so much more for a whole year. Philo is serving up charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent for an unbeatable price. So get ready, set, slay, and start watching a new season of RuPaul's Drag Race on MTV with Philo today. Visit philo.tv to get started. That's philo.tv.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. Coming up on the Blitz, we're going to talk about those San Antonio Spurs reacting to the Kings game last night. Plus, we'll get you ready for the Lakers game tonight. A little back-to-back for the Spurs. Plus, the NFL Combine begins next week. The Cowboys, they got a lot of positions to fill. What would you like to see them do first? We'll talk about that. Rob, will you please show RJ how to clean up the studio?
How to clean up what?
I feel like that was a dig. I feel like because, the studio, we have our assigned seats. And Reinagle sits where I sit. He's about to get a little gift today. I accidentally rolled my chair over a ketchup packet this morning. So that's gives you an idea where we sit. And then your side of the house is you and Jason. And I think and you guys are neat freaks. So I think that was a dig at me.
I mean,
I don't think that Joe meant any ill, but I'm taking it that way. And yeah, I do admit that I do tend to leave him.
I mean, you're
a bit of a mess.
Look, let's just be honest. You're kind of a messy person.
I'm not a messy person. I'm elsewise occupied. I got other things to do.
I mean, again, I've seen a lot.
There's a psychological term for it that has been described, but I don't like bringing it up because it sounds worse than it is.
Okay.
Anybody who knows, it ends with explosive, and it's just not the best. Let's talk about Dak Prescott. Let's get off my cleanliness here. I think what we need to continue to stress is that Dak is going to be signed by somebody, and $60 million will probably be the number, whoever gets him, and it'll probably be the Cowboys. David Moore writes for the Dallas Morning News. He is well regarded, but he's also known as a bit of a mouthpiece for the Jones family. Yesterday, he wrote an article kind of proclaiming the fact that Dak might not even be a franchise quarterback, and it is really worth paying the money to a guy who hadn't gotten him any further than this. And he brought up a series of stats to represent that he's not a top 10 quarterback here and he's a top 9 quarterback here. So how can you justify making him the highest paid player in NFL history? Totally discounting what is in fact real life, which is next man up. You can't call him a non-franchise quarterback when he took second in the MVP voting. So that argument doesn't hold water. So why is he writing this article?
Well, the answer is pretty simple. And it's that Dak is due money. And the Cowboys don't want to pay it to him. I mean, there has no doubtedly been a time in your life where you had to pay for something and pay a price that you didn't want to. But it was just, you needed it. I mean, whatever it was, not just you, Rob. I mean, but whoever you are, house, car, tuition, some sort of bill, a computer, your PlayStation, you decided that it was worth the investment, that you were willing to pay market rate, and you didn't. And to ask the question as to whether or not Dak Prescott is a franchise quarterback is just ridiculously dumb. It removes our ability to have an intelligent conversation about this, because if you want to sit here and quibble about how it's unfair the way quarterback contracts work in the NFL, I think that there's a case there. I don't want to be the person who tries to be a trailblazer in this regard, but the path of least resistance is just to pay the price the way that every other NFL team does. But to ask the question, to pontificate, like, do we think this guy's a franchise quarterback? Come on.
Well, obviously he is. Let me ask the question.
No, but like imagine having imagine you're Dak's representative and you sit down and you're like, well, hold up. Is he even a franchise guy? You'd walk out of there. You know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid to ask that question.
But okay, when the first car I was given by my father that, it was a 1965 Thunderbird.
Holy crap.
It was old when I got it. He had bought it new.
That's not an old car. That's a
it was
a
ancient.
classic.
We used to call it Detroit Iron. I mean, that thing weighed 4,000. But at the end of the story, when I was ready to get a new car, my father said it's probably worth X. I don't remember what it was back in the day, but it's only worth that if you can find the right buyer. Is there? I mean, how many other teams are going to be lined up to pay Dak $60 million if the Cowboys aren't? I mean, are there
every team who needs a quarterback?
I know it only takes one.
Every team who needs a quarterback.
Is there legitimately?
Literally
is there
every
one
team.
Other franchise that would go, all right? No one would do it with Lamar, and they would have gotten him for less.
No one would. No,
but if you're not negotiating against anybody, why negotiate?
The Lamar thing is a bad example because it's not like that was done in good faith. It's not like it. I think it would have been a bad, and I think some teams flubbed that hard, like the Falcons, by openly saying we have no interest. But it would have been a bad faith thing for the Falcons to use that example to negotiate with Lamar and pit, use themselves as leverage against another NFL franchise. There's a code among NFL owners, and that's why no NFL team seriously, entertained the idea of Lamar despite the tag that he was under at the time, because that would have gone against the bro code amongst NFL, and that would have made things more expensive for the Ravens, to your point. So in a literal sense, nobody would do it because nobody's going to violate that. But if Dak were on the open market, which he could be next year if this doesn't get done, he's far and away getting the exact same deal in that he becomes the highest paid player in NFL history and all the bells and whistles that come along with it.
Does every quarterback, let's say,
Rob, I'll make you a bet right now. Kirk Cousins, who is not the quarterback that Dak Prescott is going to be on the open market. Now, he might return to the Minnesota Vikings, but he is going to reach the open market. He will make 60 or commensurate. I mean, whatever it's 57, whatever. He will make that on a per year basis, or he will have a fully guaranteed contract, which is an important distinction if you don't get that annual average value. You have to give somewhere. You can't win everywhere. You can't say, well, I want you to take the annual average value I like. I don't want it to be guaranteed, whatever, blah, blah, even though you finish second in MVP voting and are one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Name the team. I mean, you say a team that needs a quarterback.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, the Atlanta Falcons, the Minnesota Vikings, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Now, do you believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers,
the Las Vegas Raiders?
Do you believe the Las Vegas Raiders would pay him $60 million? Like
100%.
Okay.
But
it only takes one team. I'm not saying there's no interest.
I want to be specific here. The number isn't the number. In this case, the number 60 is just the latest number. It will be 62 in a little while. It will become 64. But the number just so happens to be 60. It's not about, I believe he's worth that exact specific. If I could come up with any number in the world, the number I've landed on is 60. 60 is the going rate. That's why that's the number we're talking about.
But what if he starts to be quantified in the way that the Cowboys want to quantify him? He becomes Baker Mayfield. Then we're talking 36 million, right? That's probably what they're thinking he'll sign.
Do you know how
for.
much money Baker made last year? It's hilarious, by the way. Baker had a 1 year, $4 million.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where he'd fallen. And they're thinking that they'll get him for 36.
He's going to get 40, 45.
Okay,
I mean, easily.
But even that's better than 60 in my mind.
But that's not who again, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Dollar for dollar, pass for pass. Dak and Baker ain't that far apart.
The idea that, first of all, that's laughable. But the idea, and everybody throws this out, well, Dak's not as good as Mahomes. Dak's not as good, so he shouldn't take as much. Okay, if you're selling your house and if it has a little bit, less square footage, if the backyard's a little bit smaller than the other one on the market, are you not going to list it at a more expensive price? Of course you are. This idea that Dak is just going to, off of goodwill, say, you know what, guys, I'm not as good. Even though you're lowballing me, and even though you're asking the question in the public sphere as to whether or not I'm the bare minimum franchise quarterback, I will totally good guy fall on the grenade for you and take a below market rate deal. The thing is, if there's a code among owners, there's a code among players. Dak, like every other player, like Kirk Cousins and whoever, they have every right to fight for themselves, for their party, for their teammates in that respect, and get everything that they possibly can so that it continues to thrive and flourish as free agency continues forever and ever.
I find it, why is it laughable for us to go, why don't the Cowboys kind of do what Baltimore did?
Well, they can't in a literal sense because they can't place the franchise tag on Dak.
Well,
But
I'm saying go out and make your deal.
Okay, you know what?
Go make your deal and come back to us.
He can't do that though. He can't. Lamar was under that franchise tag, so they can't place that mechanism on him. So it's literally impossible.
Well, at some point, Dak's contract will expire at the end of next year.
Well, I mean, but if you want to do that, then you are actually negotiating without the level of protection that Baltimore had. Baltimore held the right to match it.
But if I believe, and I do believe that there are fewer teams that are willing to pay $60 million to a guy that's not already there.
So
I do believe that. But I'm telling you, on the same note, it only takes one team that'll do it to ruin the whole plan. But I would say, why is it so wrong for Steven and Jerry to go, you know what, we love you, and I want to pay you the max amount the market will bear. Go make your deal and come back and see me before you sign anything.
Because you risk losing them.
I understand that, and I tell Dak straight up, I know the risk I'm taking, but I think it'll be better for you if you talk to me last.
I want to ask you a question because you've asked a lot. I've answered every single one of them. AJ Reyna says in the Brigade Bar, I would like the Dak haters, which is the camp you kind of fall in here, to name a suitable replacement. I will amend that question and say a suitable, practical, and feasible replacement.
No, okay. But before I answer the question, what are my goals next year?
Well, that's up to you.
A suitable replacement for the exit of Dak.
By the way, Jesus asked, please name the team that would sign. I ripped off 8 teams that would sign Dak Prescott. So let's hear what your plan is.
I would say,
let's go. Cook, Rob.
Drake May.
How are you going to acquire Drake?
Well, what I'm saying is, if I was to replace, I would know full well that a rebuild is in full effect. So the quarterback I'm chasing is not a star. It's someone that's probably still in college or someone that's. I'm not talking about replacing him with somebody huge. I'm talking about finding somebody that I can pay a little bit so I can pay a lot to some other guy.
This is the Family Guy. It could be a boat thing. This is like, oh, let me get rid of this boat and take the mystery box, and it could be anything. It could even be a boat.
Yeah,
I mean, like
more expensive.
It could be a quarterback who finishes second in MVP voting.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if I told you, Rob, you could totally draft Drake May and he'll finish second in MVP voting, be like, oh, that's awesome. Let's do it. You literally have that.
But for a third, less than. I mean, just an infinitesimal amount of money, though. I have him for. Okay. I have Brock Purdy money instead of Dak Prescott money.
Even if you could do that. The benefits of that, to your point, are if you have a quarterback on a rookie contract, you can soup up your roster.
I get 3 years of fun.
They did not do that. They literally had Brock Purdy. They literally had a quarterback on a 4th-round rookie contract, and they did not.
But they already had the other fun in place. They already had Debo. They already had McCaffrey. They already had the dudes.
But my point is, they never did the aggressive team-building thing that every every team who's had a quarterback on a rookie contract. So the literal precedent that exists suggests that they wouldn't even take advantage. It doesn't even suggest. It overwhelmingly proves that they wouldn't even take advantage of the inherent opportunity that would offer.
The Cowboys wouldn't spend the money elsewhere?
No, because when they had Dak on his rookie deal, they didn't spend money on anything. They didn't take advantage the way they should have.
I know where this money would go, though. I know that if it doesn't go to Dak, it would mean more to Micah. It'd make this a little bit easier. It'd make it a whole lot easier for CeeDee Lamb, and it might make it a whole lot easier for whatever free agent I'm going to have to go get this year to just make things fun again. So I think that the times are different, and it'd be a lot like what was done before. I'm not getting other guys like San Francisco. I'm just going to pay the superstars I already got a little bit more.
Look, they don't have a history ever of drafting a quarterback in a strong way. The only one they've drafted,
talking about changing history in a lot of places, not just there.
The only quarterback they've drafted that worked out was Troy Aikman. I mean, in terms of like the way everybody wants.
Nobody in this building had anything to do with that.
Okay, so that's one thing here. They don't have a history of properly taking advantage of the salary situation that a quarterback on a rookie contract offers. They also don't have a situation or a history of being proactive in this whole arena. And it's not just Dak. All right. Look at CeeDee. We're literally set to enter the final year of CeeDee Lamb's rookie contract. CeeDee Lamb has been, they could have gotten this deal done last year, right? Like the reality, this isn't just a principle that you can apply to quarterbacks. Any skill position, any top tier position, that you have on your roster, if you believe them to be a part of your future, you want to pay them as soon as possible, because that is when the sticker price is the lowest. They could have paid CeeDee Lamb last year. They didn't. What happened? He turned in literally the greatest statistical season that any Dallas Cowboys wide receiver has ever had. So it's going to cost more. What if they'd been proactive? What if they'd bitten the bullet last year? He'd be on the books for like $27 million.
Well, we
and that would have
he'd have taken the deal.
He
We act
would
as
have.
if they both would have agreed.
If you pay market rate, then it's lower. Then it always go. There's outside of running back. There's not a premium position group that is diminishing in market rate. So you have to bite the bullet at some point somewhere, and they're going to pit these dudes against one another, and they're starting it with articles like this. They're going to start blaming each other and say, well, we can only give, this guy so many because that guy's here, whatever, and they're going to make them fight, and they're going to have all of you sheep coming around and saying, oh, man, you guys need to take less money, even though you've all earned it. They have done their job. It's now time for the Cowboys to do their job and make this work. This is on them. They drag their feet, not the players.
Quickly, when is the salary cap number due? Soon, right? We're in the next.
Yeah, if it's not today, I would imagine maybe by Monday.
And once that happens, then.
Well, I mean, that really doesn't change much. It's just official. That's all.
And
they have a solid
will we
approximation.
have that number by the combine? Probably, right?
Well, the combine starts next week. So, I would imagine so.
Because that I would like to think that the league would want to have that as they come into it. We'll continue talking the Cowboys situation and look around the rest of the NFL, see if anything has shaken loose. But coming back around home, the Spurs are about to start looking for a new locale. And it looks like by the news yesterday, a location might be about to be formalized. We'll look at the potential, what's coming in this brand new era of San Antonio Spurs, Austin-centric stuff. The Spurs might have a new home downtown. Good news or bad? That's next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is Friday. The weekend is in sight. But we got a lot to talk about, including the Spurs, who are going back-to-back against the Lakers tonight.
Yeah, plus the NFL Combine starts next week. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, what is your wish list? What order
Super
are you?
Bowl?
Well, besides that, what is your order to get those players to get to that Super Bowl?
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
You're going to do your strip club DJ. Introduce whoever you feel.
High C to the side say.
High C?
Yeah, she had 9 feet of legs. And that C was high. I'm not proud.
We get it.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Let our team keep your home running comfortable and worry-free. Call on Mr. Electric for all your electrical needs. 210-248-2026. Or get a hold of us online at mrelectric.com and enter your zip code.
License number TECL 34221.
The Golf Club of Texas has some of the best course conditions with the friendliest staff. The golf is great. They have lighted driving range and practice area. While it feels like a country club, it's not a private club. It's open to the public, so bring the family into the Tin Cup Bar, the nicest sit-down restaurant in that area of San Antonio, specializing in Texas food, wine, and spirits. For golf or dinner, go to the Golf Club of Texas off Highway 90, online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
For John's 60th birthday, his family planned to drive down Old Route 66. But the trip took a detour when his wife got sick with RSV. It's a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems and hospitalizations.
This year, we don't want to cancel our plans. We're protecting ourselves with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine.
Abrysvo, a vaccine to prevent lower respiratory disease from RSV in people 60 years and older. It's not for everyone and may not protect all who receive it. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had an allergic reaction to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may decrease your response. Most common side effects are tiredness, headache, injection site pain, and muscle pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com.
So don't wait. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, because every breath matters.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous. The way the NBA season is going in San Antonio, you need to find a way to add excitement to watching those games. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. The way to do that is by playing at Underdog Fantasy. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select whether they will be higher or lower on stats, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, huddle up. This is the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. Rapidly rising in the radio books. We're taking control of this city. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. There's news coming yesterday out of here in San Antonio that University of Texas, they have the property there, the corner of Chavez and right across the highway from the Alamo Dome, right there, Panda Expressway, right there. There'd been some talk previously where the Spurs might want to build eventually their new arena. You know, the Frost Center is 22 years old now. Mm-hmm. That's about the lifespan of these arenas. It's hard to imagine that you would tear something down like that, and maybe they won't. But the life of an NBA team runs at about 20 to 25 years. Either completely regut and redo, or a new stadium is built for that's just the modern world. There are a lot of questions that are coming our direction. And the first was going to be where they're going to build it. We'll talk about funding in a minute, but first, where they're going to build it. And this would be, I think in most people's minds, this is where the Frost Center, or what was the AT&T Center, should have been built in the first place, or at least in the same corner. I thought way back when, on the other side of that Cesar Chavez, that street light right there where the apartments are, that should have been, which was at the time, 25 years ago, public housing. Would have been an ideal locale. They didn't do it. They had to, people got cold feet and there was a lot of issues. They built it down on county property, and we still owe the county judge at the time, Nelson Wolf, a debt of gratitude for getting that thing done. But now it looks like it'll come and be built in an appropriate place, right where the Institute of Texan Cultures used to be. Good news? We excited?
I think anything like this is obviously exciting in a buzzy way, especially with expansion is a literally correct word, but maybe not the right sports word. But all the conversation about baseball and possibilities.
I'm glad you brought that up.
My only point is this allows, I think, the opportunity to, I wouldn't even say dream, but to plan and build in hopes of things like that. But why are you glad I brought it up?
Well, because that is on the horizon, and it's going to be a conversation whether we're willing to do it again. it remains to be seen. But Rob Manfred announced as he prepares for his imminent 5 year from now retirement that he does want to leave Major League Baseball with 2 new teams. We've been in the discussions before, and we're going to be back in there. That would be at the same time that we're talking about building a new Spurs building. We also have to throw the idea of locality with Austin. I mean, we want to get it built sooner than later. I don't want the Austin money to keep growing and suddenly they decide a stadium would be more appropriate. But there might be a faction that says maybe the city should have nothing to do with this. Maybe as a citizen of the San Antonio city, I don't want to have any tax bearing at all. I don't have to pay any more than anybody else. Maybe we should share the burden and build this thing, say, in Bexar County, outside of San Antonio, so we can share the debt, maybe form some sort of taxable entity that includes Austin, that includes San Marcos and New Braunfels and San Antonio. Let's all share the burden on this. If we're going to be truly a regional team, well, let the region kind of help. Or if that's not going to be it, if they're going to build it downtown, maybe they should just build it themselves. Well, and the city has nothing to do with it.
Obviously, one involves more financial contribution.
Well, we're gonna be on the hook for this no matter what happens.
No. But what I'm saying is, what would you prefer as a citizen? Would you prefer splitting the cost, or would you prefer the metropolis center area, vibe spot that this could all offer if it does all exist in the same general neck of the woods? I think most people, if you can promise in this general area, there will be Spurs arena, there will be the MLB team's arena, there will be appropriate restaurants, dining, social venues, activities, bars, bowling alleys, whatever, this and that. It's a hot spot of activity, a hotbed of. I think most people would say, yeah, I'll sign up for that to have all that action all at once in one concentrated geographical area. I think most people want that.
We do. But with that comes the cost of ownership. If we want it to be central, we're going to have to pay for it just like we paid for the Alamo Dome, which what we taxed everybody who rented a car, everybody who rented a hotel room, everybody who bought anything downtown in this central region had an extra quarter-cent, half-cent, full penny tax on every dollar spent. We tried to tax everybody living abroad for what we wanted to use, and that's pretty common. But that's not all of it. I will say this, that I do believe that if the city owned it, if the city, the county, whatever the entity is, owned it, that is a tether and anchor. Much like when the Spurs first came to the county commissioners a little over a year ago and said, hey, we have this idea. We just want to float to you. We'd like to take 2 of these home games that our season ticket buyers are buying and that we're paying lease for, and we want to move these to Austin. And the county went, oh, there's people's money riding on this. There's tax dollars involved. And the reason they had the right to say that is if the Spurs were to break the lease, the millions and millions of dollars of buyout tethered the Spurs here. They couldn't, the cost of relocation was so high, they couldn't even consider it. And if the Spurs actually owned that building, they could just up and leave and sell the building. So I do like the idea of if we're going to build any of it, I want to build all of it and own the place and lock that team in as best as possible in the modern financial era to keep a team. Now, I know that nothing is perfect. Ask the Raiders. I mean, they got to, and ask the A's now getting out of Oakland. You can break a lease eventually. It can happen. But I do like the idea of being a lease owner instead of just a participant. But on the other side of that, you could get the Jerry Jones effect where they sink so much money into it, they ain't going nowhere ever.
I mean, yeah, I mean, every circumstance is different. I mean, to your point, and Oakland is a good example of one end of the spectrum.
I want to throw it out there, and this is a great, are you willing, as we sit today, with the Spurs, willing to fund some of the arena with your tax money? Are you willing to put your money where your mouth is and add a quarter cent to a tax rate that would go on in San Antonio to build this new building? That's what it's going to come down to. I ask you now, sound off like you got a pair. We got a lot to do. The next hours are going to be even better than the first on the other side. We're talking Spurs as we do at the top of the hour, and your thoughts on the Spurs brand new building. Hold on tight. This is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The Apostle Paul writes in a letter to the Ephesians, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." If there is anything human beings need, it is a shot of affirmation daily. The beautiful thing is that it's not all that difficult to do, and there are lots of ways of doing it, from compliments to encouragement. Just as an example, think for a minute of how something like affirmation can and would impact your spouse. When you affirm your spouse, it changes your attitude about them because you focused on something positive. You're looking at their strengths. At the same time, it strengthens those best qualities in them because you have brought them out into the light. Affirmation also affects the way people think about your spouse, from friends all the way down to your children. This is Mark Apsher in the MacArthur Park Church of Christ, hoping you take advantage of opportunities to affirm the people around you. Visit our church online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair? What do you mean? Does it not look good? It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret. No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic. Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous. I was so tired of having thin and brittle hair. Ugh, and the shedding. So I figured I'd give hair volume a try. Needless to say, I'm thrilled with the results. Hey, where are you going? I'm going to pick up some hair volume right now. My reunion's next month, and I want my hair to look as good as yours.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or your local Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Help your hair look full, voluminous, and beautiful again at newnordicusa.com, Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fried co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys, bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this? It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com. Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. If you have downloaded the Prize Picks app and you're playing, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those that think that there's something out of reach. If you want to play a game that your skill plays a role in, I want you to download Prize Picks because it's about more or less. It's not about winning and losing. Use your knowledge to pick out who is going to do the best and decide whether it's going to be more or less. A couple of clicks before you know it, you're playing the game. And it's all about the knowledge. Download Prize Picks. You'll see what I'm talking about. Basketball is in full swing. The tournament's just around the corner. There is no better way to apply your knowledge than Prize Picks. You know your guys. You know what they're capable of. Is it higher or lower? 2 or 3 clicks, more and more X's, more and more money. And if you download Prize Picks now and use the word Alamo in your promo code, there's $100 to play with. More or less, a couple of clicks, go do it. It's Prize Picks. Start playing today. Thank me later.
Your home for the Cowboys.
Prescott all the way, runs it in for the touchdown.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville, San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs hit the road again as the rodeo road trip continues. They started the second half in Sacramento and played 3 quarters and most of a fourth solidly, but Domantas Sabonis led the way to a 127-122 defeat of the San Antonio Spurs. They hit the road again tonight. They're playing the Lakers, and it appears LeBron will play.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good do you want to be? From play 1 to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. We got something to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. That is RJ Ochoa. He is the managing editor of Blogging the Boys and my partner in crime. That on the other side of the double pane glass is Easy Edwin Hafner, and we are joined as always in studio, though without a camera on that mug, by our digital hero, Private Ryan, sitting next to us. We charge into the last 2 hours of a big Friday. Spurs start the rodeo road trip, but then the news wasn't the late collapse of the Spurs going down to a fun Kings team. The word yesterday regarding the Spurs was the announcement that it appears that the Spurs might be imminent. There's so many things that have to happen before it is a done deal. That there's a locale, we know where it is, the Institute of Texan Cultures, right there at Chavez across the street from the Alamo Dome, might be the imminent locale of the next San Antonio Spurs headquarters. It'll be the third gym that they will have landed, or fourth if we count the Alamo Dome, which we should. The Frost Bank Center is 22 years old. The lifespan seems to be done. Now, I think we can all agree we don't want to lose the Spurs. And a year ago, when it was a little over a year ago, when it was first announced that the Spurs were going to take just 2 or 3 home games and take them to Austin, take them to Mexico, wherever it might be, we lost our minds, and rightfully so. We're a small market team. It won't take a lot for a big market or a larger city to come and grab this team up. There's lots of money in it. So here we sit. Are we willing to pay for them to stay in San Antonio? Do we want to share the burden? I want them downtown San Antonio. I'll be real. And I will do, as a citizen of the county, though not of the city, just about anything to keep them here, including raising my taxes. I'm willing to pay a little bit. But are you? 656-3776, 656-ESPN, because I'll be the first to say they're billionaires. They got the money. But they also got something I want, and they can take the ball and go someplace else if they choose to. And I get the leverage that they have.
That's life in a lot of ways, which has been the subject material for a lot of discussions that we've been having lately. I do think that this lands at an interesting time relative to the Spurs, right? Like if this discussion pops up 10 years ago, incidentally,
which
right?
it probably did.
No, I mean, but like on this macro, what feels like macro scale, as the Spurs are en route to their 5th title, it's take my money.
Whatever you need.
Yeah, whatever you need. But like you look at the Brigade Bar, Will S says Spurs better put out a better product before they get any more of my money.
Yeah.
Like the fact that this conversation lands now, and I also think we're also having the discussion relative to a potential MLB expansion team, right? San Antonio is an interesting city as it relates to baseball fandom. Ryan's here in his Rangers jersey. I do think this you kind of
we're an Astros town, but we're
well, it's. I mean, I don't know. It could be even if it's called.
What I'm saying is, I think you could lure an allegiance much like the Spurs, fast.
But let's just for argument conversation's sake, let's call it a 50-50 town. In the last now 7-8 years, you've had 3 statewide World Series titles.
Yes.
So like everybody has some sort of allegiance here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you literally the state boasts the reigning World Series champion. So it's not like, it's not like you're starving for baseball success if you're a Texas resident. If obviously you are if you're in San Antonio. So like it's kind of a weird time to say, hey, you want some baseball? Hey, you know what I mean? And hey, you really want to come see the Spurs? You know what I mean? Like you're really just kind of banking on the appeal of Wemby here on the foundation of everything from I wouldn't say a marketing standpoint, but from an interest-based standpoint.
There's this existential question that you have to ask as a city, as a metropolitan area, as to who are we and who do we think we're going to be? Because you can see the future. Why do
you have to define that?
Well, no, but you need to, because we're talking about an investment that's going to end up being in the billions of dollars. By the time the stadium is built, by the time the infrastructure around the stadium is done, will be upwards of $1 billion. And the ramifications of that will travel through 2 generations. It'll be a 25-year thing. So when you're planning like this, I have to look as a concerned and informed citizen, what will this mean to where I live now and in the future? And what will it mean in 25 years? And if you look at what's going on around us, we know what's happening. Anybody who travels the 35 corridor knows that with every passing day, Austin and San Antonio appear closer together. That San Marcos is growing north and south, that New Braunfels is growing north and south, that even Little Buddha is growing north and south, that it is going to be a contiguous town, much like Dallas-Fort Worth, much sooner than later. And if we know that is coming, you can capitalize on that and prepare for something that is imminent, like baseball. Once this metropolitan area reaches 5 million people, which we're not far from, 5, 6, 7 million people from Georgetown down to Jordanton. You know what I mean? We're talking about an economic powerhouse that can support any entity we want to build. And there's a right smack dab middle place that can spur that growth. And if we can coordinate something, it might be giving up a little bit of basketball, but gaining an NFL franchise, but gaining a baseball franchise. If you can plan ahead and bring together entities from Austin to San Antonio to San Marcos to New Braunfels, can you envision in San Marcos a place that has all the stadiums, including soccer, light rail in and out, and rail stops all the way in between with everything you need to live and exist? That's the kind of planning. If we do this thing right, you can join the greats, not the small markets. You become Dallas, you become Houston, you become Chicago, you become the place that has everything required to foster and grow 4, not just 2, 4 franchises and a college football program that's as big as any pro franchise in the University of Texas. That's the kind of thing that I think you should consider as we look forward.
What's the best sports town you've ever visited?
Chicago's by far the best sports town I've ever been.
So, well, I mean, and you can answer this from a fan experience. Obviously, we've done a lot of things. I mean, but some of that's just the city of Chicago.
It is. And there's the segment, and Boston's a great sports town.
I would offer part of what makes Boston cool. I'm a big Bruins fan. Went to one Bruins game, right? Big win for us. But they shared the Garden, obviously, with the Celtics, and it's the whole vibe is cool.
Right. It's a unified us,
right? Looking at Pittsburgh, that PNC Park is right there by. I know they don't call it Heinz Field, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's Heinz Field. You know,
it's Heinz Field at PNC Park.
It all feels very kind of coordinated together. Chicago's a little different. But Indianapolis, you were talking about the underground tunnel system. They have, it's not underground, but they have the tunnel system that connects all the hotels and convention centers and Lucas Oil. And obviously that kind of supports things, especially the weather's a bit more of an issue in that particular place. But I would offer the coolest thing I've ever seen in terms of things we're kind of talking about and idealizing. Granted, it was only a singular stadium. Do you remember when we went to Atlanta?
Yes.
And we met up with Jason's old coworker, whoever it was. I don't remember.
The
And
baseball, the Brave Stadium out there.
that was the sickest thing ever. I mean, it was this like,
and they had to build it out there too.
Right.
They had to have land to do what
it
they
was
did.
It's the Braves ballpark, and there are, correct me if I'm wrong, like apartment complexes attached to it and hotels and the radio station, the affiliate, and all these restaurants and movie theaters and Shaq's Place and everything. Like that's the place to be, right? Like, you know, whether you're going to the game or not, even if it's a non-game day for the Braves, like and that's the kind of ecosystem that I think you want to support and you want to be around. If there's some game happening somewhere in the periphery on a given day in the summer or the spring or whatever, by all means, like that's the vibe everybody's kind of chasing.
Are you willing to sacrifice the opportunity that the city of San Antonio would pass up? Because if we're willing to go with some sort of taxable entity and we split the cost of building this thing and we keep it for ourselves and we put it downtown, I put it to you, a connection between a brand new basketball stadium, the Alamo Dome, which is kind of aging but still has a very useful life, and then you combine it with a brand new and redone convention center, we have ourselves something that would put us on the map for so many things other than sports. But at the same time, we would be sacrificing the opportunity for other things, like the Major League Baseball stadium that would come here, because I can guarantee you, once we commit to this basketball stadium, it will be very difficult for us to even start talking about this AAA baseball stadium that we want desperately. The idea of them coming together in two separate entities in two separate ways, it's impossible. It won't happen. Now, we might be able to build them together, put some kind of package where it includes the stadium and the baseball stadium all kind of in the same place. I don't see how that happens. So we're going to have to start getting to the debate, AAA baseball and what we could do downtown and the affordableness and the family-friendly thing, or the glitz and glamour and the $150 minimum tickets that we would look at with a brand new stadium.
I think that, do you want to just keep status quo? Do you want to keep full outright, so to speak, ownership of the Spurs as a citizen and have the occasional Final Four, the occasional cool convention or whatever, WrestleMania, you know what I mean? Whatever. And enjoy that lifestyle? Or like you said, are you willing to change? I mean,
jump on a train, not pay to park, get let off in the front door of a stadium somewhere in San Marcos. Took you 25 minutes from.
Even if you don't jump on a train, even if you drive.
Even if you drove a new and improved double-decker 35. Would you sacrifice the proximity of saying this is indeed the San Antonio Spurs or whatever it might be for the opportunity for it to be the San Antonio Spurs playing in San Marcos, much like the Dallas Cowboys in Arlington, but also sharing it with a stadium that holds whatever centralized name we have for a brand new Major League Baseball team, where the Austin MLS team plays, where whatever comes this anchor that draws growth to what is already coming. What do you think? 656 3776 656 ESPN. We know we got a lot on hold. We got a couple of minutes. Let's dive in. Southside Charlie, we do appreciate the call. What you think?
As much as I'm a sports fan and I'd love to have it down there, I do not want to pay another penny on my taxes. The Holtz, the Spurs, the city, we have money, and we should use it on other things. I think the Holtz should fit the bill. And as far as downtown, right there in that area in traffic, I'm a member of the trade show and convention community. I cannot imagine what it would be like to have a trade show going on, a baseball game, and something going on at the Alamo Dome at the same time. Traffic is already bad enough. That's just going to make it tenfold.
Well, traffic is, I think most of the people, when we start talking traffic, you know what that is, Southside Charlie? That's an RPP. If we're dealing with traffic, that means everything else is going real well.
I mean, yeah. I mean, traffic and parking are RPPs, but they are obviously.
Oh, it's a necessary concern. But let me tell you, in the grand scheme, it's fifth.
They're ergonomic problems that have to be addressed, obviously, and matter. But yeah, I mean, I think I think everybody wants something like this, and I mean, it's just I don't mean to hate on the current structure, but I think a lot of people are tired, of the status quo. And I think a lot of people are tired of just kind of the same carrot, the same like, well, the Alamo Dome could be, you know what I mean? Like it's just, and so like, I think people are kind of ready to pick a place to kind of plant a flag and just live with the net results.
And we did for 22 years. And we live, we planted a flag in a place that we shouldn't have, but we had to. And I'll tell you, for all that we went through, it served its purpose well. It has. It's time to bring this in to where it should have been initially. And it's either going to be downtown where it should have been 20 years ago, and we'll plant that and keep it where it should have always been, or this new investment coming out of Austin and all of that. Is there an eye toward this coalized metropolitan area where you truly have the same level of Rasa fan in Austin with the same number buying season tickets as we do here? I'm more about sharing the cost. I'm going to have a very difficult time if I am voting, but I'm a county resident. I wouldn't be in a situation to vote on the city tax that would come. I would have a difficult time voting for it. I would, unless there are concessions given and promises made, and I don't even know what those would have to be.
I don't know what guarantee you would need. I can't dream up what that would be to make me feel better.
There would have to be a quid pro quo pretty good. There'd have to be a this for that would assure me of certain things that would you're never leaving, or the upgrades from here on out that you pay for only. That it's not on things that guarantee some kind of fiscal stability that I don't think I have seen cities and teams go for. This is going to be the beginning of. It's a great thing because it shows that there is a future here with the Spurs and an investment, and Wemby arrived at the right time. Your thoughts continued here on the Spurs, but we got some NFL conversation as the free agency market's about to kick. We're expecting the salary cap numbers to hit soon, the ocean of money. We'll see. The Cowboys will have it. Are they going to spend it on a quarterback? There's some conversation that says maybe not. We're talking about that next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, alawyerforus.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, alawyerforus.com.
The Golf Club of Texas has some of the best course conditions with the friendliest staff. The golf is great. They have lighted driving range and practice area. While it feels like a country club, it's not a private club. It's open to the public, so bring the family into the Tin Cup Bar, the nicest sit-down restaurant in that area of San Antonio, specializing in Texas food, wine, and spirits. For golf or dinner, go to the Golf Club of Texas off Highway 90, online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
I was afraid to cut the cord, but once I did, I couldn't believe it took so long to do it. Paying too much for my cable bill had become a bad habit. I either wasn't getting what I wanted or never knew where to find any of my favorite shows until it was too late. Plus, the prices just kept going up. Thankfully, I discovered a new way to watch called Philo. For just $25 a month, I can catch all my favorite shows on networks like BET, MTV, and TLC. It even has Nickelodeon for my kids. I can watch anytime I want, anywhere I want. Plus, Philo lets me have up to 3 streams at once, so everyone can watch what they want at the same time. Throw in the unlimited DVR that saves all my favorites for up to a year, and this really is the best deal in TV. I just wish I hadn't waited so long. Sound too good to be true? Well, try it out for yourself, and you'll see why people who love TV love Philo. Go to philo.tv. That's PHILO.tv and start your 7-day free trial now.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated. That used to be me. Then I got this. Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right? Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Get $5 off at alignprobiotics.com.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
Marcus, what happened?
I was changing my oil and I spilled some on the floor.
Oh, well, use these $50 bills to wipe it up.
Perfect. Got any more?
Yeah, take a couple hundred.
Stop. Instead of using money, use an old rag. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redmond Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Do you have failing or missing teeth? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctor's Implants.
I had missing teeth, I had crowns, I had partials.
There was no way I was going to walk into my bathroom every morning and see my teeth in a container.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from the Blitz, starting at 2 o'clock today, of course, reacting to the Spurs-Kings game from last night, looking ahead to tonight's game against the Lakers. Will LeBron play? We hope to find out during the Blitz. Plus, as the Cowboys get ready to head to the Combine next week, what is their wish list? What is your wish list for the Cowboys? What positions are you prioritizing? We'll dive into that as well. RJ Ochoa sitting in studio. Make sure you clean up as you head out the door at 10.
There must have been some conversation yesterday.
I'm a very clean person. What
went on yesterday?
Of all of us, I am by far the cleanest. By far.
Oh, yeah, but
y'all are
you're
filthy.
Bordering on obsessive.
Y'all are some
obsessive,
animals.
compulsive. Yeah, you could call it cleanly.
I mean, y'all are ridiculous. So
we've asked the question. We are ridiculous, and I am very curious. What went on yesterday in the Blitz? Were they making? They were obviously. When we're talking about studio cleanliness, it's all would land on me. I have a feeling that was a point of conversation yesterday, and I beg to differ.
I have a feeling I've got a Stanley in my hands, and there's a point of conversation that happened around this that was your fault.
So, no, I was hoodwinked in this whole situation.
You were not.
I was led to believe things were one way. They were not.
I heard the story last night.
I was gaslit into believing I had to return something I didn't have to return.
I was falsely accused.
You were falsely accused.
By
and
you.
Stepped forward
By you.
but I also cleared your name.
I don't. Well,
I could have kept that
thing
in my backpack. You were long gone, and it could have been a point of contention that you stole a Stanley. But no, what I did was I thought, he took it, not knowing that I'd actually put it in my backpack.
So
and the
you
moment
took it
I
and then
opened
blamed me for doing it.
Well, you would. I thought you had taken it.
Even though you
I wouldn't
literally
have been mad at you.
Okay. So
and I didn't.
You wouldn't
care.
have been mad at me for doing.
And when they go, where is that? And I said, I think RJ took it. And they go, oh my gosh. So there was panic. So I go, well, wow, that sucks. I'm sorry. This is all on me. And then I open my backpack and we have it. So I return it, and I was told.
So it literally was all on you.
I was told it was a backdrop. It was product placement. We needed to keep it. And then immediately it's gone. And then the next time it shows up in your hands.
No, this isn't that one. To be clear,
I know.
So you're completely and totally wrong.
But I'm often am. But I don't think I'm wrong here. And I am asking the question. As San Antonio Spur fan, as San Antonian, are you willing to pay for what appears to be imminent? It appears by news yesterday that the city of San Antonio will take over the property, at least the lease of the property that is currently owned by the University of Texas educational system. That is the Institute of Texan Cultures. You know where it is, right there. It says our job is right there underneath the Tower of Americas, the perfect and most ideal location you could even dream of for a basketball stadium in our great city. It would be the link between where the convention center is and where the Alamo Dome is. There would be this contiguous size of space that can be used in ways that, as sports fans, you couldn't even imagine. You do something like this, suddenly the combine looks like something that is imminently available. What about a variety of college basketball Final Fours, the likes of which, while we've been in the rotation, we are suddenly back in there. And you start offering space like that, things that we never even thought we could get, we could begin to get. So that being said, are you willing to pay a penny for every dollar that you spend in San Antonio? Are you willing to pay 3 pennies for every dollar that you spend inside of a geofence downtown area? Are you willing to pay for what you'd want? Let's go to our phone lines. Ashley dialed them, 656-3776. What do you think, Ashley?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call.
Sure.
You know, to me, the city of San Antonio will always be a beautiful place, but it could be better. And you know, growing up here, I've always been an advocate for sports, and I'm just a huge sports fan, especially my Spurs. So why not invest in the future of San Antonio and our Spurs? You know, people will say, oh, have the whole front it, but, you know, they don't have to. They can say, you know what, I'll make a few $1 billion and sell this team. They don't need to do that. You know, us, if we're love our Spurs as much as we always say we do, we can invest in our taxes to help make this possible.
How much do you feel? How much do you want to own of this? Should the city own all of it? Do you want to take half of it? I mean, if we're going to build it, how much do you want of it?
You know, if it is that, if the city wants to go for it, then it should be reflected in us in the future. You know, if we own it as a city, then make sure everything else is flowing just as beautifully. You know, make sure our streets are good. Make sure our schools are good. You know, if we are owning this and taking that money that we're making in the future, especially knowing if Wemby's going to be around for the next 20 years, which we're hoping for, you know that money's going to be rolling in. Everyone's going to be coming.
Ashley, you make a valid point, and that is the other side of this, the economic driver that the Spurs are in this city. What the dollars that we put in, how much of it comes back? How much restaurant money is applied? How many of the waiters and waitresses see that bump when the Spurs play? All the things that play into major professional sports that can't initially be quantified in how much money is spent on a season ticket and how much money the Spurs are paying in lease payments. I think that she's right, but we're dreaming if we think most of San Antonio is willing to say, we will build the building and you can make the billions.
I think Ashley has a very fair point, and I think a point that a lot of people share. And I think there is I don't want to call it a fear, because Ashley didn't speak like somebody who was afraid, but there's a mentality of wanting it in San Antonio. That's fair. Like that's completely fair. And I don't think that's selfish. I don't think that's hogging the Spurs or being greedy or anything like that. But I mean, there is something to this, the uniqueness of the Spurs. This you mentioned Dallas-Fort Worth. This isn't that. You know what I mean? Like that, and there's pros and cons to that statement. You know what I mean? But some of the pros are not worth surrendering and giving up. And so I think that's why I don't think there's one absolutely right answer here. I think that there are pros and cons. I think it's exciting that you have and we have these options because you can pit them against one another. It's when you have one option that is kind of the, unideal situation for circumstances like this, because then it's, we're stuck. You know what I mean? But if you can, base and measure and quantify the potential returns on investment and things like that. Yeah. But, not to completely go off tangent, but it is amazing to think about how important of a human being Wemby is. Like what an amazing phenomenon to be that important of a human being for a populace.
And to the gravity of what we're talking about, that this one individual could spur economic development in the billions just because he's decided or will decide to stay at this address. And I think you have to treat it like that. The whims of an 18-year-old could change. We could be right about to break ground on our brand new building in 3 years, and Wemby could sign a contract someplace else. I mean, that if you're relying on, and I've seen it on our scroll, I've seen our brigade scroll across. I'm not willing to invest in a bad team. If it's about the quality of the current team, you cannot let that be the barometer as to how big a check or how much you want to pay for a stadium, because it is a cyclical thing. Eventually, the Spurs will get good again, whether Wemby's here or not. The eventual might be further down, but that should be the least. Hey, they're not winning. Why should I build them a new building? That's the worst argument possible.
1991 Freedom Ryan in the Brigade Bar says, why not do what the Packers did and offer the opportunity to sell stock in the Spurs to the citizens? So this point aside, have you ever been to Green Bay, Rob?
Yes, I have.
So for anyone who hasn't, it's pro football's holiest cathedral. That is an objective fact. However, it is not the
it is a dump.
It's not a dump, but it's not the community, infrastructure that we're talking about here. It's literally a stadium in the middle of a neighborhood.
And I don't want to make fun of the question, but you're asking for the Spurs to sell shares in this golden goose to you. I'm not selling anything to you. I'm not. You want a little bit of ownership of the team? I'm not selling you a little bit. Now you can come to me with 50 million and we'll talk about it. But I'm not selling one share to you. I own this thing. That's communism. What are you talking about? We ain't sharing this. So I appreciate that idea, but there's a reason why only one team in all the United States does it, and it's Green Bay, because they had to do it to keep them there in Green Bay, and it's ceremonial at best anyway. What would you do if it came to today and the Spurs said new building, or it is Austin Spurs and we mean stadium at the Moody? If it came to it, would you pay? Because if you don't early, you will late. Kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. You can take care of things early and not have to worry about the long-term significance of what is always there, death, taxes, and inflation. Cowboys had a chance a while ago to get a Dak Prescott at a market rate that seems so much better only a year ago. They chose not to let the market play out, and here they sit. $60 million for a guy that half the group doesn't even want. That applies to the Spurs. Consider that. We'll continue talking, but we will come back looking at where the Cowboys sit and look around. If it's not going to be on Dak, who should it be? I like that guy, Chris Jones. He's a pretty good football player, so I've been told. In fact, he played on the last football game I watched, and I believe he won. We'll talk about where the money should go coming up. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
This was Visit with MD Kalu here on the Blitz.
I believe the NFL is the greatest league in the world. With as great as the season the Texans had and the trajectory looking up, we've all seen it. This team, if you don't do the offseason the way you're supposed to do the offseason, it could be 7-10 next year. So, yeah, the future is bright, but Nick Caserio, D'Amico Ryans, they can't, kick back and put their feet on the table and fist bump each other. It's like they need to get on that grind.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
How often do you, as your man, think about the Roman Empire?
Why do we have to call it Roman Empire? I mean, just call it sex.
Oh, so you do think about it.
Mike, I don't think that sex... Explain your point.
Turley's parents made the mistake when he was 11 years old of letting him watch the film Caligula. You shouldn't see that when you're 11, and it ruins you. And Turley's now a twisted individual.
Exactly right.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
Hey, hoop heads, college hoops are heating up, and if you've got your eyes on the madness to come, I need you to register for the Dose Million Bracket Challenge today at Twin Peaks. Go lock in your chance to win $2 million and more epic prizes. Head over to TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com to get started.
Hey, it's Jim Rome, and it's great to be back in San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, it's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. Got plans this weekend? Going anyplace interesting? RJ's hitting the road. When you pull, what's the first thing that is, do you have a travel song?
Yeah. You know, I got several. I got a playlist.
Do you have a roadie playlist, or is it just a playlist?
I mean, well, I like to cycle through certain ones, you know, in certain moods.
What was your most listened to song on Spotify last year?
I'm an Apple Music person.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm an Apple One subscriber. I have the extra iCloud storage.
Yeah,
Apple
yeah. I
News,
don't want to. Does Apple not do that? You don't get to. They don't give you a list of your tops, your favorites.
Are you that limited in brain activity? That
I'm just curious what you seem to throw out a lot of music. I was just curious, what was your song of 23? You don't have to get all defensive about it.
What was yours?
I don't have Spotify either.
So what the? You just what?
But I do get that report.
What do you think that song would have been for you?
My song for 23?
Yeah, I can think of two possibilities for me.
I have no idea.
I too, since you asked, are "Style" by Taylor Swift, but Taylor's version.
Well, I knew it was going to be a Taylor song. I don't know any of them.
It's a great kind of like anthem, and Too Good to Be True by Iration. The Too Good
pops
to Be
and buzzes.
Too
Man.
Good to Be True is written uniquely. The U has some umlauts on it.
I learned yesterday that there's a band called Doohickey Cubicle that's coming to South by Southwest, and that's really all I need to know. You South by Southwest guy? You ever spend any time up in Austin while this is going on?
I think I've been to 3 concerts in my life.
What? Well,
I'm not a big concert guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, South by Southwest isn't just concerts; it's movies and TV and
I don't like people.
Interactive. Well, you're not. Well,
so
I'm getting that sense.
I mean,
right now, it's a vibe I'm picking up. Right now,
you've made it through. So I mean, feel good about yourself.
I teased it. Let's talk about it. The Cowboys have some money to spend. They're waiting on the no one's waiting on the salary cap. We have a pretty good idea what it's going to be. And we have a pretty good idea that's going to go up significantly enough to where even if Dak Prescott takes the $60 million or gets the $60 million, the percentage of his pay will be equal to what he is getting this year. I mean, it's how much of the salary cap are you eating is what you should be concerned about, not the dollars involved with it. I mean, that's really at the end of the day. If football fan looked at percentage of salary cap as opposed to dollars, you get a much better representation of what a player's value is. It's not the dollars. That's what matters to the player. But to the team, it's how much am I spending on you versus the other guys. And that, at the end of the day, isn't going to change that much, even though it goes up.
No, at the beginning of the day, that is such a dumb premise. That we have to penalize Dak because they have to pay other players. That is on the front office. Like it isn't fair.
It's not a penalty. It's a fact. I only have $100 and I got I got 100 guys to pay, so average would be $1. But if it ain't,
but that's on them to work out.
You're right. Nobody's blaming anybody.
It's not on any player to make concessions.
But what I'm saying is people get mad at the dollar amount of $60 million when in fact what you should be more worried about is the percentage of the salary cap that this one guy is eating up. It's not the dollars. I don't care how much he's getting paid, but I do care that 8% could have gone to a running back that no longer will stay. 7% of that could have gone to a cornerback that might want to leave here in 2 years, and we keep him happy and lock him down. That's more concerning to me than Dak's the highest paid football player in the world for the next 8 hours. I don't care. But I do care that he's going to eat up so much of the salary cap that the guys that I do need to keep, even to make him worth that kind of money, are going to leave. And that's the ongoing conundrum of professional sports.
Let's look at Lamar Jackson as an example, because everyone's going to live in the number
because he's the latest.
But he's the latest in an important way. If we looked at Jalen Hurts, if we looked at Joe Burrow, if we looked at Justin Herbert, their deals were extensions on top of their rookie contracts. So the money can be muddied a little bit and you can shift things around. Lamar Jackson's was a brand new deal after getting, the franchise tag process, or going through the franchise tag process. So Lamar Jackson got an APY last year, AAV, whatever acronym you want to use, average per year of $52 million. Do you know what his salary cap number this year is?
It's pretty low.
It's 32.4. Yeah. So if you think like this presentation in articles like what David Moore wrote about how, he's going to take up a quarter. No, he actually is actively taking that up because they've kicked the can down the road. But if you go through the proper mechanisms of paying him commensurate with what his peers are making, you can soften this significantly.
But the answer to that is yes, you can pay the guy. But when we get down to it, do I want to pay this guy? Maybe it's not the $61 million that bothers me. It's the guy that's getting it. And I think we're starting to get a sense that this is the card that's going to be played by the Cowboys. They understand it's going to cost $60 million.
They are going to throw their failures on him.
Yes.
Oh, Dak hasn't let us pass the divisional round.
And all of it's true.
That is true, but it's true that they failed. So why do they get to keep their jobs? You know what I mean? Like if you're going to penalize him for those exact same, if you're going to make him wear the weight of those sins, you have to do it too. I mean, but they don't. And so they're making all these players atone for the sins of the collective group. And I understand that people feel passionately one way or another about Dak, but the idea or the implication or the inference that he is not worthy of being paid commensurate with a franchise quarterback is ridiculous. In this article, the question that's posited is he a franchise quarterback? What a dumb question. He finished second in MVP voting. I mean, the idea that he's not even in the if it's one line and the people on one side of it are franchise quarterbacks, and then we're going to sit here and wonder whether he's on that side of the line I think even the most staunch Dak haters would acknowledge that he is above the pass-fail Mendoza line, so to speak.
Yeah, but
no, see, like that's all this winds up ever being. Yeah, but well, I feel differently. Yeah, he just can't get it done. Dink and Dak. Yeah, Dak sucks. Like nobody ever has anything of substance. All they have are lame Facebook memes and caps lock quotes. That's all this ever boils down to.
And that in itself encapsulates the problem, because the guy's been here long enough to where he should either be absolutely ensconced or it's time to go. And I think all of us feel like he's been good enough to stay, but in our heart of hearts, you feel like it's time to go, man. This is not ever going to work. We love you. And every valid argument that you make to get paid, I agree with. The sad thing is, I think even not the most rabid Dak haters, but those that are a bit upset with the production and all that would all agree. Yes, he's a franchise quarterback and I like him. And I think there's a lot of positives that he does, but I also see the future and I don't see any improvement. And if that's the case,
what do you mean? Okay, had he ever finished second in MVP voting before?
No, I'm not. And that's the other thing. He has continued to get better, but I don't know how much more I can. Right, but I don't know how much more I can expect because my team hasn't improved. He's gotten better, but my team is exactly what it was, and now I'm going to continue to pay him even more. And my team is no better.
You're going to pay him commensurate.
Commensurate, yes, but it is more. We can parse it however we want, and I can argue it's not about.
It is more, but they're also they're making more.
But I would also argue that if it's a raise of any sort, it's not worth it. I don't see a benefit to other than winning another couple of regular season games, and maybe something will fall right, or I can start over for a whole lot less money.
I mean, the starting over doesn't offer any kind of promise.
Well, it's a different road. It's not this one. And this road I've been on for a long time. And, I've gone down this before. We dealt with it with Romo, and we finally were forced to make the change, and it didn't work. And now we're going to do it again. I think that the problem with Dak is it is just 50-50. We're both indifferent. And
man, I can't believe how cool I thought that was at the time. I'm so mad
look
at
where it got him.
that I fell for that.
Yeah, look where it got him.
But I was sitting in this studio when that happened, and I was like fawning. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the most impact. This is the biggest day in sports history. But anyway, look, this didn't have to be this way. Okay, the Eagles have always been smart about this. Even with the Carson Wentz deal. The reality is you pay because you think he's the guy. Like everybody involved here, Rob, yourself included, and I love you, is like, well, I don't want to pay until I'm 100% certain. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want all the answers to the test before I take it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how any of this works.
Well, there's some of it, though, RJ, and everything you described is right. But at some point, you can sit back and make this decisions purely on business terms and go, my sunk costs are continuing to grow. And my return on investment has been pretty significant. It has been. But at some point, it's time to move on to a new thing.
Then why not move on from CD and Micah? Why pay anybody anything?
Because that's a valid question.
I mean, if you're gonna go down that path, why try to improve it all? Why not completely strip it down, fixer-upper style? This is demo day. You're Chip. I'm Joanna. We're going to come in and put on hard hats and do something silly, and then we're going to walk up to the people and say, I think there's a problem. A pipe bursted, but we fixed it with our awesome team.
But I know this, that Dak, the subtraction of Dak and the addition of somebody else, I think can be kind of equalized. Maybe not. Gosh. I mean, to the extent that the guy won't lose games. But I don't think I could replace a Micah. I don't think I could replace a Diggs. I don't think I could replace
the most difficult thing to replace is the position that Dak plays.
I agree right. See, but I'm talking about replacement, and I think I could find what and I hate to say it. I think if I went and paid Baker Mayfield 35, 30, I would have the same outcome. I would still see a 12-win football team, and I would still see a playoff loss. I'd be the same place, but I'd be $15 million ahead.
That's just a general Eeyore approach to this. Like,
why
aren't we doing any of this? It's all pointless. It's all inevitable.
Well, no, but to say, I think to admit that we're going to bring him around and keep him longer is an admission of pointlessness. I think at some point you go, it's just not going to happen. It's just not, for whatever reason. And it might eventually for you someplace else. And gosh, I'd hate that. But I'm tired of it.
So, look, I know that some people hate statistics because they are inarguable data points that, people don't like to have disprove their own points. Dak finished second in EPA per play this past season.
Mm-hmm.
Second in EPA and completion percentage over expectation. Baker Mayfield finished 11th. So you're like, oh, that's just the same.
But the records
I'll
were
Indiana Jones this
but they went
idol.
the same distance. We ended on the same day. And I mean, yeah, the numbers were less and everything else, but I'll tell you what, we played the same amount of games, same number of minutes. I mean, I think that's why this is such a weird argument to have, because even the most desperate Dak haters like him.
I don't think that's true.
No, I think personally they like the guy. I think that personally they see what the magnifying glass the guy's under, that he's performed remarkably well considering he was a 4th-round draft pick and all the things that he's done over this, and he worked his way to MVP. I don't care how much you hate him. It's a pretty remarkable story, and it hurts so bad to go, you know what, though? All that, it hadn't been enough. All you did, it's still not enough, and I don't think you got enough more to give. Sucks. And it's so Cowboy-esque. It's like saying goodbye to Garrett. By the time we finally said goodbye to that guy, we kicked him out the door. But for 2 years, God, what a nice guy.
That's such a ridiculous comparison.
It feels very much the same. I think that Garrett and Dak are a lot alike. A lot of good wins. A lot of horrible losses, though.
I think you should be inspected for saying these things.
I should be what?
Inspected.
I think we should all be inspected. Your call's next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio. Oh, let's take them. We got guys on the line and stirred some pots here. Let's go to Scott. You're on the line here. What do you got to say? Scott, wake up. Sorry, Scott.
Hey,
there he is.
So I've got a question. Why is nobody talking about let's take a slight pay cut percentage-wise to keep a little bit more money to keep these pieces around them? I mean, there was this guy named Tom Brady back in the day, and I don't think he was ever the highest paid quarterback. And he might have won a couple of championships. I'm not sure. You guys know more than me.
Scott, I'll take this one, Scott. I appreciate you and hope you have a great weekend. This subject has been an annoyance in a lot of these conversations because Tom Brady is the exception. Tom Brady had he was not even the biggest earner in his own household. So Tom could, in a literal sense, afford to do that. And and the fact that he did that diplomatically is really impressive, but makes him the exception. So you're saying, why can't Dak be like the 1 out of 1,000th person that did this? And the fact that he won't doesn't mean he's not willing to be Tom Brady. But again, you're citing a very, very specific example in extraordinarily rare circumstances.
And yeah, it's easy to say unless it's you. It's easy to say.
Yeah, why don't
somebody, you take less so your partner can take a day off? Why don't you take less so your partner can get a raise? It's easy to say when it's the other guy.
Everybody would do that, right?
Let's close it out. Eddie, welcome on to the Morning Huddle.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, man.
Show. So, here's the thing. As a dude, Dak is a good dude. Like, he's just someone that you want to support,
right.
Work for every cut, and great, great. But here's the thing. I don't care about guys finishing second in MVP voting. And here's another thing about that. I could even accept it if, again, the last couple of years, advanced to the second round, a hard-fought loss in the NFC Championship game. But the bottom line is he's had great regular seasons before. We have seen this before, but when it matters the most, he craps the bed continuously in the playoffs. And it's not just the front office. That's him. All you needed is a better effort. 2 years ago in San Francisco, they win. He crapped the bed. All you need was a better effort this year. He crapped the bed. He got outplayed by a first-year starter. Here's the thing with that. I understand that, and Large is going to say, well, statistically, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league, but it's the eye test when it matters the most. I don't care about the analytical nerds. Here's the bottom line. The situation is, if we are going to flame out year in and year out, because the guy's been in the league almost 10 years now, in the first round or do nothing in the playoffs, well, at this point, why not just go the cheaper way? We're gonna lose in the playoffs anyways. Why not look at a different option? Let's look somewhere else, at least a cheaper option, because it's not like this guy's putting you over the top anyways.
You've hit it on the head, man. I think you represent most Cowboy fans.
I've
all
never
the
met
numbers
a fan base
justify
who's
it.
so anxious to F around and find out. I've just never seen
But I
one.
think we reach a point where we did with the end of Garrett, we did at the end of Parcells.
Let's put our hands on the stove.
It's
Let's see.
around and find out. And at some point, we all get to that point, and I get the sense that as a Cowboy fan, Dak, I'm sorry, but I might be ready to F around and find out. I mean, it could very well happen. Hey, you guys F around and find out what's coming up on the other side. We got Spurs talk there in LA and weekend business to attend to. You're on the Morning Huddle. He's RJ. I'm Rob. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
$94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. If you have downloaded the Prize Picks app and you're playing, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to those that think that there's something out of reach. If you want to play a game that your skill plays a role in, I want you to download Prize Picks, because it's about more or less. It's not about winning and losing. Use your knowledge to pick out who is going to do the best and decide whether it's going to be more or less. A couple of clicks before you know it, you're playing the game. And it's all about the knowledge. Download Prize Picks. You'll see what I'm talking about. Basketball is in full swing. The tournament's just around the corner. There is no better way to apply your knowledge than Prize Picks. You know your guys. You know what they're capable of. Is it higher or lower? 2 or 3 clicks, more and more X's, more and more money. And if you download Prize Picks now and use the word Alamo in your promo code, there's $100 to play with. More or less, a couple of clicks, go do it. It's Prize Picks. Start playing today. Thank me later.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma, Smart communications for the smarter business.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs went down to the Sacramento Kings last night as they began the second half of their rodeo road trip. Final score was 127-122. Wemby had a double-double, but Montes Sabonis had his fourth in 5 games. Devin Vassell added 32 in the loss.
Wembanyama goes behind the back here. Oh, little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama.
Oh, it's knocked away by Wembanyama. This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather around. We got stuff to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson. Easy E here, as well as the Private Ryan, our digital hero. Baseball's going. There's going to be baseball on TV all weekend long.
There was yesterday, too.
Yeah.
Where it's here.
Baseball's here. I just thought I'd mention that in passing. Not that it matters neither here nor there, but it does. It is a sign, a portent of spring days and green grass.
Who's your World Series pick?
I'm going to go with the Stros one more time as they reload.
That's a good call.
Come back, fight back. Although the Dodgers with
your guy
with a Shohei Ohtani might be fun to watch as well. Yeah, you down with you ready?
Yeah, the hot stove season's over. It's time.
I guess. I don't care.
Wow.
I love opening day. One of my favorite things to do, and if you haven't had the opportunity, it should be on your sporting bucket list, is either go down to South Florida or head over to the Scottsdale area over the next couple of weeks in spring training and go catch a bunch of the games. No, nothing better than
being in that environment. There's like 7 baseball fields all connected, and there's games from one stadium to the other. It's an utter blast.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. If you ever have the opportunity, I highly recommend it. We've been talking a fair amount as the news broke yesterday afternoon that the Spurs might be rounding into a location for their brand new stadium. It's right where the Institute for Texan Cultures are. For those who used to go to Folk Life Festival, remember those? That's old school stuff. But back in the day, for those of us that grew up in San Antonio, you had your fiesta in April into May, and then the next big festival in our city's calendar was when the temperature would hit about 107. We go, okay, it's time for another festival. We need to get out in the sun and enjoy this fine July weather.
We're back from Arizona and Florida in spring training.
We would
trips.
have at the Institute of Texan Cultures there late in July a festival with all things Texas. It was called Folk Life Festival, and we would show up and sweat through and around everything you owned. It was the hottest festival in the world. And it was a lot of fun, and that was everybody's introduction to that building that is now long lived past its prime. And it looks like the city's about to take over the property, or at least the lease of that property, from the University of Texas, and that would open the door for the Spurs and the city to come to an idea about building the stadium right there at the corner, across the highway from the Alamo Dome, basically connected to the convention center, underneath the tower, right there in Yanaguana Park at the end of Confluence, right by the Riverwalk, the kind of thing that San Antonians, the likes of Henry Cisneros, who dreamed about what downtown could be those many years ago, finally said, this is it. But we got to pay for it if we want it. You ready? You ready to pay?
I see pros and cons to both proposals. The downtown,
and that's the one that's fluid and is closest. Now, my proposal is something that is absolutely a dream.
Well, you're playing The Sims.
I am. I'm simming here. The what's the civilizations?
I don't know what they're called.
Age of Empires. We're doing that.
Oh, I don't know a lot about this.
But I'm building. I'm building San Antonio for the future. From what I'm proposing.
Are you one of these people who plays like the mowing simulators? I could see you doing that.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch paint dry, which I have.
But no, I mean, the Spurs are at a point, and the future seems to be, reaching a point where more is needed, more is necessary, more infrastructure, more opportunities, more avenues, more, room for growth. And so to do that, you need the literal room. You need the obviously support of a city or of citizens. And it comes down to personal preference at this point, based on the assumption that your sim opportunity is equally possible in a hypothetical sense. The downtown thing, I think, it's clearly holding on a little bit to the past. In terms of the way things are. I like change, but I don't want to change too much. I just want to change in a good way. The, merge with Austin-ish idea is a little bit, hey, let's really mix it up. Let's really shuffle the deck. Let's really try to do something that feels unorthodox, that will ultimately, in a technical sense, be the same thing, but will be very different in terms of how we know day-to-day life to be.
Now, when we built the Alamo Dome, way back in the early 90s, it was built debt-free. We didn't have bonds hanging over our head. We just taxed our way into the building. It was built with via sales tax. We taxed hotel rooms. We taxed rental cars. And we came up with money at that point. It was $186 million. Values have obviously tripled since then. But we found a way to build it without having to go into debt. We didn't get a loan. We built it with tax dollars, kind of like the way restaurants are built. We funded it as we kind of went, and it's still here, and it hasn't lived up to every dream, but it's lived up to enough dreams to justify the expense by this point. Sadly, the AT&T now Frost is in a location that will be destitute and left to the rodeo. There's just nothing. There's no there. Once the Spurs leave, we'll leave it to the rodeo. It'll be a concert venue. I guess I don't know what the future will hold, and sadly, the county's going to be left holding the bag on this. If they were going to build where they're talking about, that's a city deal, and it's an entirely different way of building. I have always and will continue to say these are billionaires. I'm not building a dock. I'm not building a slip for somebody's boat. I'm not going to build you a place for you to park your Ferrari. I'm not going to pay for that. You could pay for your Ferrari parking spot. I got my own problems. You're a billionaire. You own a basketball team. You own a boat. Pay for your own boat fees. Pay for your own team fees. Go get it. But I also understand, as I should, that the Spurs are far more than a sports entity to me. They're far more than just a team that I buy a jersey for. They represent my city. When people talk about where I'm from, when it's a business entity, one of the things we bring up is, oh, that's where Wemby is. It gives notoriety. There is value in product placement. And one of my products is this city and the Spurs. It means something to me, and I'm willing to pay for that right. But how much? And for how long?
I don't think that for how much or how long questions really matter, because those things are out of your control. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really a am I willing thing. And I think that most people honestly are ultimately willing to be dragged to be willing, right? Like I think people just need to be courted. You know what I mean? People need to feel heard and seen and understood and promised things that may not ultimately become realized. But I think that that's where a lot of people, I think yourself, I think you could be convinced. You don't seem staunch against the downtown idea.
Well, I understand the value of what me holding a lease means. I mean, if I'm the leaseholder, I can bind the guys that are living in my building to some things that I might not be able to hold them to if they own that building. You know, if they're here, 50-year leases and $100 million buyouts are suddenly in the offing, and I can rest comfortably that they're not going anywhere. And there's something about saying this is the San Antonio Spurs playing within 500 yards of the Alamo. I mean, being right next to the Riverwalk. There's something about that, what we are. And there's a reason why the Final Four loves San Antonio, because it would all be there. That's one side of the coin. But I also have to look at my city in its place in the state of Texas and where I know things are going. And the next great metropolitan area in the United States is the San Antonio-Austin corridor. It's as hot a region as there is anywhere in the country. And I know, and in 50 years, I'll just say in 25 years, when we're looking at maybe building the next stadium, I guarantee you it won't be in downtown San Antonio. It'll be in the offskirts of New Braunfels or San Marcos in between. I just know that's the future. And if we're going to act like we are as smart as the average guy or smarter than the Jones boys up in Dallas, maybe it's time to invest early in something that'll be worth a lot sooner than later.
You mentioned how there's something to knowing the Spurs are playing within 5 miles of the Alamo. There is something to the helicopter blimp shot of the building when they're coming back from commercial or starting the game, and the bottom reads San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah, the boats on the river and the Alamo and all that.
I'm saying as opposed to like when you see AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play, they show it Arlington, Texas, right? Like there's something to like, hey, that's cool. But what I will say, if those are your like biggest arguments, like
no, you're right.
If it's just nostalgia and preference, and I don't want to call it cosmetics, but if it's things like that, then you need to. This is the kind of decision that you need to make when not emotionally compromised by things like that. Those are all, in my mind, emotionally compromising decisions. There's nothing that disconnects you from San Antonio if you go a little bit north to do all this.
There's not.
There's nothing that says when Wemby wins his 14th title that you can't have the parade through the Riverwalk just the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing is off the table if you just move the building.
That's the esoteric field. But then there is the cost of what I'm talking about. And if I want the personalization, if I want it, right next to the Alamo, and I want literally to be able to walk from the river to the basketball game to a football game in the Alamo Dome, underground, contiguous, and do all those kind of things, it's going to cost me a lot more per person. Or I could say, I know what San Antonio is going to be. And I know that at some point, this is going to be a metropolitan area of 10 million. From north of Georgetown to south of San Antonio and to Jordanton or wherever you want to take, there are going to be 10 million people here that are rooftops that are viable for a professional franchises. And if we're going to do that, put it right in the middle, kind of like Arlington, in between Dallas and Fort Worth. You think San Marcos, and you think all that open land out there. And if we're going to build a basketball stadium, why don't we go ahead and plan ahead and have room for a football stadium? I know Austin has a nice MLS team. They're about to outgrow that. Maybe there's an MLS stadium there. Maybe at the same time, as Rob Manfred has said, maybe another baseball stadium gets built there. There's land to do it, and it would spur the kind of growth that I know that everybody from here to Austin that has a financial stake in the future would love to see. Then we start talking about what San Antonio is 50 years from now, not 5 years from now when the new stadium is built, but when this region becomes the kind of powerhouse that we're expected to be, like LA, like Northern California, like Chicago, like Dallas, like Atlanta, like every other major market that we're not there, but we will be at the time.
That all sounds great. I mean, an old adage is you got to spend money to make money. And so it will be required. It's going to come from somewhere, right? This money has to come from somewhere, some way. And I think when it comes to each person and each person's preference, it's a matter of what do you stand to gain?
How much control do you want of the franchise? How much control? If you want to build it yourself?
What does that even mean?
If I build the stadium, I own it. I allow you to take whatever concessions there is, but it's my building, not the Spurs building. And that gives you a modicum of control over that franchise. You can sign lease agreements to where if you even try to leave, the cost would be so unimaginable that I could either use that money to do something ridiculous or you'll never pay it. Or I could say, you know what? I'm going to let the free market prevail. You go build the damn thing. I'll pay tickets. And if I get tired of you, I won't. And if you want to leave, go ahead.
I mean, I think, it doesn't matter as much to me specifically. Personally,
I asked the guys in Oakland.
I recognize that. I mean, but for every one Oakland, there are thousands of other teams in other markets and places that haven't moved. I mean, I reckon, you're right. But do you want to live in that constant dread and fear all of life?
I did. We did for a long time. As a Spurs fan, I know what it's like to have the franchise's movement held over your head. I know what it's like to watch the Maloof brothers go walk around our convention center, kicking the tires and checking the seats and seeing what it's like. And you're like, they're about to sell my team. They're about to come and take them away from me. And there is no worse feeling than that. None. I can't imagine ever having to deal with that again. And if you want to get that, if you want to give that up, let the team build it and do whatever they. And you're going to go into the weekend. Your attitude matters. There's a guy used to sit in this chair, says happiness is a choice. You can choose to be happy or you can choose to be mad. But let's head toward the Zen. We want you to exhale those bad thoughts and inhale the goodness. And in about 15 minutes, your opportunity will arrive. Until then, scatter shooting as the Morning Huddle heads toward the weekend. You got something to say, sound off like you got a pair. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Type or talk. We're talking to you next. This is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-647-0499. 800-647-0499. That's 800-647-0499.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here from my friends over at SA Card House. You know where it is. It's over on 281 in Bitters. My private card house. You better make them yours. It's private entry. You need to be a member. But membership, well, I'll tell you what, it does have its benefits. When you go play at SA Card House, there's things you need to expect. The vibe is always going to be spectacular. Foster's Grill is going to bring you great food morning, noon, and night. The hours are going to be appropriate to when you want to play. They're going to have the cash games you're chasing. They're going to have the environment that you're going to want to bring friends and family to. And then you add to the special that only SA Card House can bring. And it's just for being there that you get to enjoy. Like the Bad Beats tournament that's going on all month long. $5,000 Bad Beat table distribution. 40% goes to the loser of a hand. Winner can pull 20%. Reset amount is $5,000. It's progressive after 2 months. There's so much going on with the Bad Beat tournament. Love it or risk it continues all February long. 120 to 200K giveaway just for the month. Listen, SA Card House, 281 and bidders. Go today. Thank me later.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Rizin, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hello, this is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our coastal waterfront grand opening on March 2nd, where you can get 2 acres with bay access for only $49.9. That's right, 2 acres bay access for only $49.9. This coastal waterfront community has over 4 miles of water frontage with access to the ICW, Gulf, Matagorda Bay, and much more. Property features paved roads, underground utilities, boat launch, pier, pool, cabana, and more. This property is shown by appointment only. Call now. 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. Coming up on the Blitz, we're going to talk about those San Antonio Spurs reacting to the Kings game last night. Plus, we'll get you ready for the Lakers game tonight. A little back-to-back for the Spurs. Plus, the NFL Combine begins next week. The Cowboys, they got a lot of positions to fill. What would you like to see them do first? We'll talk about that. Rob, will you please show RJ how to clean up the studio?
I don't know what the cleanliness of the studio, why that's been a point of contention today.
That's like, hey, will a giraffe please teach a shark how to swim?
Right.
Like, you know.
Some of us can only do so much, and we're doing all we can here on the
Look
Morning
at your
Huddle.
side. There's a nail clipper.
I freely admit that I clip my fingernails here in the studio. And as I continue to admit things, I'm starting to understand why exactly I was asked the question. See, Joe sits where I sit, and I tend to leave a bit of a little bit of mess. The latest is a ketchup packet that I rolled over this morning. I looked down. I thought I'd been shot. There's ketchup all over my shoe.
I'm bleeding.
At what point did I wound myself? The Spurs got a back-to-back tonight. They're heading into Los Angeles to take on what appears to be a LeBron-led Laker team. Last night, the postmortem to a game that you coulda, shoulda, woulda is always you coulda, shoulda, woulda. But post-game, you try to figure out how do you make a young team into an experienced team? How do you do that? You just wake up and play. Experience comes with time, and you just wake up and play. And we've heard over and over that it's been difficult for Pop to get these guys to, by the time you wake up, the loss is over. You got to move on. You can't mull on it. This is the kind of loss that great teams stew on. That you can't wait to get out because that was a gift.
This is the kind of loss that tonight you go out and just blast the Lakers.
Yes.
I mean, like it's steam you're letting off.
But that's what good teams do, and I'll even take that further. Experienced good teams do. They understand that, but for one play, two plays, that's a win, and they've seen it happen. I'd say 6 times this year where they had leads in the last 6-7 minutes that any other average to good team wins, and I think they've lost every one of them. No, they did have a nice little comeback. Well, I think it was the Timberwolves.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of a loss.
They hung on, and it was kind of a fun fourth quarter.
If you missed it, Devin got 32. Wemby offered his typical night. Just about. We're headed for a new stat line, and I saw it described on the Pounding the Rock site, and I like it. I'm gonna steal it, but I do want to give him credit. The 5x5. We're looking for 5x5 from Wemby from here on out. 5 or better, and in 5 stat boxes, which is. To just say we're looking for that on the regular is nuts, but he is a 5x5 player. And we got just about that last night. Unfortunately, one of the things we were worried about going into the game occurred. And one of the things that we're going to see more and more as Wemby leads the league in blocks, they're going to do everything they can to get him out of the paint. And they took Sabonis last night and moved him out. Kind of cleared the lane a little bit and allowed a second quarter and De'Aaron Fox to kind of get in the paint and do some things that the Spurs were unable to fix for about 12, 15 minutes. By that point, they were 10 minutes down, and it was a struggle to get themselves back, but they did. So little things. Wemby was less than 100%, I think, mentally. I think he's a little drained. Physically, he seemed fine, but I don't think he was 100% there.
He had the break. What do you mean?
No, but I think it was a busy break.
Yeah, well, for him, certainly.
Yeah. Another positive, when it mattered, who took the shot? It wasn't a great shot, but Wemby took the shot.
Well, and another positive, Devin contributed and didn't overwhelm.
On his way to 32. So this is one of those wins that I hate parsing as moral victory, but it is that in every sense. And it sucks. It is, but it's a fact. From here on out, as a realist, we don't want to win another game.
Dude, see, like that it took until February 22nd to make these kind of moral wins possible is the failure. Like in a vacuum, you're right. Cool. You did and accomplished X, Y, and Z. You grew as a team. That did happen, but you wasted too much time just floating in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like it's hard to take these at full face value now because these kind of losses, even if you want to take moral wins out of losses, should have been happening in November, should have been happening in December, should have been happening a month ago. I mean, and with the occasional steal of a game like the T-Wolves when you talked about happening in between. But the problem is you've been such a mess that it's hard to take something like this and say they took a step.
Could you live with a team that, okay, we're sitting right now with the potential of a top 3 draft pick? And what happens if the Spurs do figure it out? What if they suddenly are winning? Okay. They win at 50% from here on out.
What if they don't? The overwhelming likelihood and the most recent history overwhelmingly suggests that they won't.
But if they did, I don't think we'd be upset. We like the wins. We like a reason to tune in. But once the season is done, and instead of being in last place, they're in 11th place, not even in a play-in, and the draft stock is even worse. My choice is be close but lose.
You're diluting the point down to, would you rather have a high pick or not. Obviously, everybody would rather have a high draft pick.
And I think a part of that is I've rounded in on the guy that I want.
And that's fine. But it's hard to buy into this being who they are now. Like, oh, the growth has started to happen. You know what I mean? And maybe it's a matter of we need a larger sample size. If they go out tonight and they have a similar sort of performance, they play well, Wemby, does his thing. Devin is a proper running mate for him. You know what I mean? There's some functional basketball. The secret plays that they cooked up over the All-Star break are starting to kind of show themselves, right? If those things happen again, you put together back-to-back moral wins. Okay, now I'm sitting up in my chair a little bit more. You do it a third game in a row, I'm willing to, maybe straighten myself up. A fourth game, I'm getting out of the chair. Right now, though, it's so hard to take anything that they've done seriously. There's somebody who has disappointed us. And you're like, well, dude, they just showed up on time. Let's give them an award. And I'm not ready to do that quite yet.
I'm looking at the mock draft that we're chasing, and this one is off of Yahoo Sports. The guy that they've pinpointed for the Spurs is number 3 pick as they sit. Nikola Topic, he's the Serb. He's hurt right now. So, I'm wrapped up. I like Rob Dillingham, the guard for Kentucky. I continue to hold out hope.
You just like saying Dillingham.
I do like saying Dillingham. I also have grievances regarding this process. I have grievances regarding a lot of things. Do you? There's something that concerning you that you don't want to carry into the weekend. This is your opportunity. Air them. Let them go and breathe that good air in. We're airing grievances and closing out a phenomenal week. Next, this is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, it is Friday. The weekend is in sight. But we got a lot to talk about, including the Spurs, who are going back-to-back against the Lakers tonight.
Yeah, plus the NFL Combine starts next week. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, what is your wish list? What order
Super
are you?
Bowl?
Well, besides that, what is your order to get those players to get to that Super Bowl?
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
You're going to do your strip club DJ. Introduce whoever you feel.
High C to the side stage.
High C?
Yeah, she had 9 feet of legs. And that C was high. I'm not proud.
We get it. The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
This is the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Here are the grievances with Rob and RJ.
It's the Morning Huddle. The time we all wait for. It is it's a baptismal experience. You enter the water angry and you exit the water washed anew, ready for a day. We call it the airing of grievances. If there's something bothering you, let it go and have yourself a fine Friday. I've had a few occurrences over the last 24 hours that I found both disconcerting and aggravating. Do you have anything to air right now?
I have something. It's a long-standing grievance, but I've never offered it in this particular, pool of sanctimony. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Show me your ready posture.
Well, I've got my thumb.
Oh, okay, good. So I've danced around this, but I'm ready to unveil it. The expression is you're trying to have your cake and eat it too.
Yes.
This doesn't make sense. Okay. So this is generally offered when somebody is trying to accomplish two things that can't generally be accomplished at the same time, right? Somebody's trying to, do one thing while also doing this, trying to have their cake and eat it too. So these are presented as equally desirable options that they're trying to have that for whatever reason conflict with one another. So the two options presented in the analogy are having the cake, an option that I don't even understand. What does that even mean?
Keeping the cake.
And eating the cake.
And having none of the cake disappear.
But what is desirable about having the cake?
Well,
why would that be a desirable option?
I mean,
who would want to have if your option, hey Rob, I have a cake, you can either have it or you can eat it. Who would ever say, oh, I'll have it?
I don't think you get the spirit of the saying. The idea is I want to have my
Did
cake.
You Google
I don't want to lose.
Are you on the Wikipedia page for
I don't want to lose my cake, but I want to eat my cake at the same time. So I want to have some cake, even though I want to eat
What is the value of having the cake?
That means I have more cake. I would like to have $10,000 and I'd like to pay $5,000 to you, but I want to keep that $5,000.
No, you're
I want to
changing
have
the
my
analogy.
cake. That's exactly what have my cake and eat it too is.
The analogy
a
is born
never-ending
around
supply
the cake.
of cake, no matter how much I eat. I want to have it and eat it.
Nobody wants to have cake. That's
Yes.
dumb.
You want to have it so you can eat it whenever you want, but I don't want to give it away.
By eating it, you are having it.
No, but I want to have more. I want all the
That's
cake
not
I
what
eat.
the expression is.
It is.
The expression is you can't have your cake and eat it too.
You can't. That's right.
Having
if you eat it, you have less.
Is not having a cake is not a thing. I mean, nobody has ever told you in your life, oh, I have cake. Nobody says that. But they've said I ate cake.
And they have less cake. You can't have cake.
My grievance is with the expression. So does it pass?
No, you're wrong.
Wow.
There's a reason why it has existed low these many years, is there is a grain of salt, a bit of truth. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you eat it, you have lost your cake.
All right, different.
And the thumb is down.
Different expression.
All right.
And this one is kind of born in the same universe. They're not getting any younger. Who is? Like, show me the person who's getting younger.
A guy who's going Mach 1.
And it's a
into space. Einstein tells me he's actually getting younger.
The moment is fleeting, Rob. All moments.
I'm gonna get
all moments are equally fleeting.
I got
no moment is fleeting faster than another.
Well, there's no moment in time. Time is a progressive thing. But that's a whole kind of philosophical thing that we don't want to go down. I got something that's a little bit more close to home. I've got bad knees and I'm trying to stay in shape. So a Peloton is something that I'm trying. The Peloton bike.
That's not a thing you try. That's a
well. I worked out on a Peloton just to kind of exert myself.
Okay.
I went to a place I don't want to talk about because I wasn't allowed in there. Snuck in. And it wasn't a private place, but it was a private place. So I'm at and the place had 2 Pelotons. They had nothing but really cool workout stuff. So there's 2 Pelotons with the full screens. They have one of those like elliptical things, and they had a stair climber thing. And it's kind of in a building. It's a gym attached to a building. It's like a perk of the building. So it's not an official gym, but they got some mirrors, some towels, water fountain. Nobody really monitoring the place. And they've got these really kind of high-end quality. And I heard about it, and I wanted to try the Peloton. I said, come over and try it. So they have it's kind of set up, and you can tell that there's nobody like organized. You could probably get in there and drag the bike wherever. You could take it over the window. You could take it wherever you want. But I got there. I'm the only one in the room. And I began to mess around. This is my first real Peloton workout. So I've got the screen on, and you can pick like light, heavy, whatever, the mode you want a guy, you want a girl, you want 15. Yeah, I go through all that, and I finally find this rocking bicycle dude. We're going. And my headphones aren't good, so I'm using volume. There's nobody in there. So I'm in the midst of being coached to I'm riding the mountains, man.
And the whole room that's empty can hear it.
I'm sweating. Well, there's nobody in there.
No, I know, but it's not headphones.
So it's kind of like, and this harkens back, like if you walk into a men's room and there's a series of urinals and you stop at whatever one, the next guy, and you don't stand next to the dude, the only guy. You go one
Very
over.
common rule.
It's just understood. You just don't, and it wouldn't matter if they did. You just don't do it. Well, yesterday I'm in the middle of my workout. I'm sweating and doing everything and high-fiving the wall and doing this guy's making me do all kinds of one-legged move over here, and we're doing all. And then another guy comes in, and directly in my sight, in front of me. Now I'm looking down, you got the iPad screen, so you're kind of following that, but directly in front of me, like me to you, RJ, he gets on his elliptical and starts working out. He has earbuds in. He can't hear me, but we're looking at each other. I mean, he literally started working out directly in front of me. Now I'm on a bike and he's standing up, so he's kind of looking over me, but we're like face to face in this little room for the next 15 minutes. And the bike guy kept wanting me to stand up on the bike, like get your butt off the seat. So I'm standing up and we're like looking at each other. I'm like, cat, man, at the very least, I'm in my workout. I shouldn't have to stop it and move. You're just starting. And he just stepped in there and kept going and he could have been blind. I'm not sure he ever actually saw me, though he looked right through my soul as I was working out. There is that's a foxpox, right? That's a faux pas. There needs to be like how do you handle that?
Well, I think you at least are somewhat well-versed in contemplating that, because your grievance yesterday was about traffic. And
this guy was hovering right beside me.
Maybe you invite this. I mean, because, people like to drive next to you, be in your periphery. This guy wanted to work out in your orbit. There's something about you that you're the flame, and they're the moths.
Wanted the elliptical, and there was only one, but he could have moved it.
Pledge has Pledge actually says in the brigade bar, what do you expect him to do? Pick up and move? So you wanted to move the elliptical?
Yes. If he'd have said, hey, bruh, why don't you help me move this so I don't stare at you for the next 35 minutes? I'd have been, you know what? That is a worthy reason for me to pause Mr. Excited Pants here on the Peloton, and I'll come and help you out. But right now, I'm in the middle of my workout, and if you'll give me 12 sweaty minutes, I'll be done. But no, don't go set up, put on your headphones, and play some kind of weird Mediterranean music. I don't know what he was listening to, and stare right through me.
What was your take on the Peloton? You said it was your first time doing
it. I think the next time I will shop my coach a little bit. I like this guy.
Okay.
But, you try to show off, and even though you're the only one in the room, like, how good a shape are you? Oh, I'm in, fair to middling.
So, but did it feel like
it was crazy?
Did it feel like a proper workout?
I liked it. I really did. I'm in. I think that's something that But I like it felt like the guy was working with me.
I'm always telling my wife we should think about it. We should think about getting the Peloton.
Now it wasn't a live one. It was a recorded one. I want a live one where he's calling us out like, "Hey, San Antonio, step on up." Well, I want some of that. But man, I can see why people get into it.
I like
really
the
can.
idea though of like having friends and high scores. So if we both have Pelotons, it's like, dude, you were really slacking it.
It seems like that's possible.
Yeah,
but don't do it staring into somebody's eyes.
Yeah, or you don't even have to be in the same room as them. You know what I mean? Like that. I agree with you. That's weird, but I mean, I also am kind of with Pledge. Like maybe he had limited time and he was just like, "Let me hop on the elliptical. We're just gonna bear through this." I mean,
maybe choose the other Peloton for a little while because if you'd have walked in and seen me, you knew my workout was almost over. There was no like, oh, this guy could go on for hours. No, you could tell that, I'm just about done. He could have waited a couple minutes.
You could have done something else, like played on your phone. You know what I mean? Like been a little bit more kind. That's fair. Okay, I have another one. I just picked up this Stanley.
Beautiful piece of machinery.
I've never had
and if you haven't liked or subscribed it, then you're missing out.
Yeah, so I have this Stanley now.
It's kind of like
Ryan
desert
has one
sand.
So as I understand, one of the big appeals to this is it fits in a standard cup holder.
Yes, it does.
And it fit in my car today, and that's great. So my grievance is, why would we as a society ever design anything that didn't fit in standard cup holders? Who was the first jerk? You know what I mean? Like, why did we ever go down that route? This is kind of like, hey guys, we're doing something revolutionary. We're designing the cups to fit in the cup holder. This is a problem that, people themselves created. Why
don't your cup holders
but
adjust?
but some things are round, some things are more solid, some things are oval at the bottom. You know what I mean? Some things have a fatter bottom. Like why is this why doesn't every cup have this?
Like a universal standardized cup size?
In a universal bottom to fit in a car cup holder.
I thought there was.
Why would we ever deviate from this?
I've never had a cup that didn't fit into my cup holder. I've never bought a coffee cup, a Stanley,
good
a
for
Yeti,
you. I mean,
but I put it to you, who has? Who's buying one too big?
We have like 14 different things that don't fit in cup holders. Also, you ever known someone that brings an open coffee mug in the car? That's an interesting move.
That's a risk taker.
That's a bold move.
That's a risk taker, especially if you're riding with me.
Also, why would you ever make a coffee cup and put tea in it if you want that doesn't have a handle?
Well,
like things like this, like we created inefficiencies and then we fix them and act like heroes.
One of my favorite drinks is for lack of a better term, a Mexican Coke. I go out of my way to buy the Mexican pure cane sugar Cokes.
Okay.
Best drink in the world.
Okay.
Especially that icy cold, thick glass.
Okay.
Those things are only about 3 inches across. And if you try to put it in your cup holder, you're going to spill a lot of your Mexican Coke.
Yeah.
That's one of the great aggravations of my life, that there's no appropriate way to carry that little skinny bottle. I know it's only one bottle in the no, that's the only thing that has never fit because I can't take the Coke with me.
Pour it in your Yeti.
And you know what? The Yeti would stay icy cold and in my cup holder. Now, I'd heard something about isn't there a problem with Stanleys? Like an internet anger thing? Like
so I have a problem.
Like
maybe Ryan can help solve it. I was telling you this. So this one, the top screws on and isn't movable. So I'm sort of stuck having to drink it this exact way.
You have to hold it in your left hand. You have the straw on the bottom to hold it with your hand in there. Now,
you gotta place it.
That's what I said.
Wait,
can
do that
you
again?
put it in another way? I think
So what I did.
Oh, see, science behind this.
You're saying it's the position in which you start the turn.
Now that you have this, are you going to be the
okay,
guy?
we're good. We've solved this. We're fine.
So now that you've adjusted the straw placement, are you now going to be the Stanley guy? Are you never going to leave home without it? Are you going to be the guy with stickers and all the stuff on your Stanley?
I don't like cold things, or things to be overwhelmingly cold.
Well, it'll keep things tepid.
So that's not the function I'm after here. What I'm after is the handle, the fit ability within the cars.
So far, so good.
The straw, because it's a tall straw.
It's a good straw.
And the volume in which it holds.
So
I'm a big fan of.
They check every box.
Yeah, well, and if I wanted it to be cold, it could.
But are you the kind of guy that will legit be the one that no matter where I see you, when you're out and about, you've got your backpack and your big giant drink?
It depends.
Because I don't like that guy.
It depends because it has a straw. You can't fly with the Stanley. You know what I'm saying? Like it has.
Why couldn't I fly with a Stanley?
Because it has a straw. Like you got to put it down. You're moving your backpack around a lot. Like it has to remain flat at all times because it has a straw. It's not a closed water bottle that you can put horizontally.
But you could pull the straw out and close it.
You can do that?
Pull the straw
This
out.
thing closes?
Yeah.
How?
It's a Stanley, man. These things have been around for 100 years. Now you just close it, and now you're fully portable.
Whoa!
Yes. See, welcome
this
to the
thing
21st
rotates,
century.
so you can drink out of it without the straw.
RJ, it is a bold and beautiful world. Aren't you glad you're subscribed to our channel?
What is
so you
this
can
thing
see?
for? Just to hold the straw?
Yes.
That makes sense, so that it's not jingly like your Mexican Coke bottle. What a remarkable point of innovation from mankind.
Alexandra has come to us with an RPP grievance on
the Brigade
Bar. Alexandra, my grievance is with guys who think a grocery store is Tinder and come up to me and start hitting on me. I'm sure it's happened to other women. Yes, I'm sure it has. We don't have a lot of options, Alexandra. We're there, and if you go to the My HEB, there's normally some music jamming from my high school days. So there's like I'm feeling it, a little slow dance song, and there's guys that see you, and there's lots of fruits and vegetables going on. It's a place. You're gonna have to accept the fact that you're
I don't know what the opposite of a grievance is, but whatever it is, I want to assign it to these kind of grocery stores because they have great playlists.
HEB rocks.
I need to we need to find them on Apple Music or Spotify because they are typically pretty solid.
That is the oldest thing I'm going to say today. I will not say anything that'll make it sound any older than the fact that I just said the HEB playlist rocks.
Jason, who you can hear later on today here on the station, obviously, said in the Brigade Bar and he gave me this Stanley. Said watching RJ figure out a Stanley must be like his son figuring out a sippy cup. Well, now my son will one-hand a sippy cup, like he is a boss. But
a two-fister.
But I would put it to you. This is Jason's fault. First of all, this Stanley is the fault of a lot of you in terms of my own experience with it. I've been blamed for this thing. This the way, that way, whatever.
Has one?
No,
you.
I have one now. But when I was given it, I was not told, hey, here's the secret locked combination to change the structure of the straw and you can sip out of it and blah, blah. Nobody
didn't include the instructions
all
to
Jason
a cup?
told me was that it holds 40 ounces. And is that accurate? Do we know? Is that?
How many liters is that?
I don't know. Do you want to know?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I want to look it up.
We'll never know. The
40 ounces is the equivalent to we'll round up 1.2 liters.
And how much is 1.2 liters?
I've already left the tab.
Is that how many yards is a liter?
Wow.
Well, I'm making a valid argument that I'm stealing from a stand-up comedian, but
this is a great cup.
You're a guy. You're going to become that guy.
So
you're going to be.
Hold up. Does this? Can I seal it, Ryan?
Yes.
So I can. So now I can fly with it.
Yes.
Okay.
So now, as you travel, you're going to.
Wow. Let's get on an airplane.
Yes. Are you going to sticker it up now with all your travels and favorite sayings?
Well, I need a sticker from the station. I need a Blog of the Boys sticker. But if I put stickers, can I put it in the dishwasher? You don't have any stickers on it. But my Yeti. But yeah, that's not a Stanley. I can't accept that logic.
So your concern is, can I wash it?
Well, so again, that kind of goes back to the subject at hand of the day. Everyone accusing me of being this dirty fiend when I'm very clearly the cleanest one here. That one of my chief concerns is cleaning the cup.
I love this new car, but can I wash it?
I'm not worried about the cup. I'm worried about the stickers. The stickers are going to get deteriorated in the dishwasher.
I'm with Jason. Yes, anything. Why?
Then why are you asking me if I'm going to put stickers on it? That's a silly question.
Because you're going to be that guy. You're going to be the Stanley Cup guy.
No, I'm not, because I'm the dishwasher guy. I'm not going to
drink.
put stickers in it, because then it's going to look stupid. After like a few dishwasher cycles, it's going to look all tattered. It's going to look like a velociraptor took a paw to this.
Well, that's what you want, right?
I don't want that. I want organization.
You want a battered and bruised Stanley to show that you have taken your fluids with you. You don't care. You're staying hydrated, baby.
Wow.
You don't want to cramp up on a busy Friday. And we're just the beginning of a full sporting day.
We are.
You got to stay hydrated.
I am. Well, this is empty. I need to fill it up.
Let's say what's in there right now.
Well, it was water.
Vermouth.
vermouth? You think like have O'Doul's?
Just the very thought
Um,
of a clear shot of vermouth. We are, again, the beginning of a full sporting day. Your shot of vermouth in the morning. We're just around the corner from Greeny. He's coming in the Rome. Well, he's swinging in on a vine. And then the Blitz is going to be, they have spent an entire week in this studio. They haven't had to be anywhere. They didn't go anywhere. They did their shows all from here. And at the end of that week, first week I can think of in forever, that they weren't out and about at Rue and the many stops. And after that week, they're bitching to me about the cleanliness of the studio. The only thing that's changed is them. They're here more.
Wow, how the turntables have turned. DJ Robbie T mixing it up.
So as we head into the weekend, ask Joe and Jason what not you can do for this room. Clean everything up. I know who does it, though. It's James Pleasure. Well, thank everybody for sitting in with us. Hey, the numbers are in. You guys like us. You really like us. The numbers are rising. We are a dominant force in San Antonio sports talk and in the spoken word territory, rising like bullets. Tell a friend. Make sure you have done the appropriate things. You have subscribed to the channels. You have liked them as they should, and you have talked the way you could. Hey, RJ, I want you to travel safe. See yourself out the door as we have ourselves a fine weekend. Y'all be cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
94.1